negotiated by Medicare to reduce cost. Corporate tax rates would increase, and incomes on $1 billion or more would be taxed at a minimum of 25%. White House budgets have little chance of becoming law and rarely advance in the House and Senate, but the proposal will serve as a campaign statement as President Biden makes the case for re-election and a Democrat-controlled Congress in November.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Housing and Urban Development Secretary Marcia Fudge is resigning later this month, only the second original Biden cabinet member to go. The president commending her passion and focus on increasing economic opportunity. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He picked the wrong fight. 54 degrees, sunny downtown, all clear with the radar, low of 42 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Jesse Sparks is in jail, accused of pointing a gun at someone Sunday morning and then fighting with Columbus police. Sparks apparently reached down inside the car. That's when officers hit him with a taser and arrested him.
A law enforcement officer from the sheriff's office was injured during the incident, so there's enhanced charges for that.
Lieutenant Matt Harris with Columbus PD. Sparks was found with a gun and meth in the car. His 2-year-old child was also in the car and saw everything. They asked for a speedy trial. They're going to get one. The attorneys for Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen filed a request earlier this month for the trial to start within 70 days, and Special Judge Fran Gall issued an order today moving the trial up to May 13th rather than starting in October. It's only supposed to get warmer this week, says Andrew White with the National Weather Service.
So we're going to be gradually warming up through the start of the week. Temperatures today are generally going to be around 60 across the state, but we have the potential to see 70 degrees for the next couple days, starting tomorrow and Wednesday.
Rain's likely to accompany the warmer weather. White says storms could start Tuesday night, but he doesn't expect anything severe. Ever heard of a publicly owned pub? Kurt Darling reports.
The city of South Bend is considering purchasing Kelly's Pub, which has been a troublesome spot when it comes to shootings of late. The goal would be to improve the area by the farmers market nearby. The pub has a sketchy history due to several shootings and fights since 2019 that have had the cops frequenting the place. The city's common council has the purchase of the pub on its agenda for tonight. They would demolish the pub if they buy it. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Ordinances in places like Carmel and Bloomington either banned or restricted the sale of puppies in pet stores, and they would be overturned under a new law taking effect in July.
I think it's a ridiculous overstep of local control.
Samantha Chapman with the Humane Society tells Wish TV that law just puts more pressure on shelters. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
The traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Baer.
Good afternoon, Harrison Silcox. Just giving in as hot crash Michigan Road at 79th. Also, the ramp on the northwest side, sort of in the same area. It is 71st Street to northbound 65. That ramp is closed until late May because of bridge work. And northbound 37 is stop and go from Epler Avenue to 465 because of construction. Traffic sponsored by Wendy's. Right now at Wendy's, kickstart your morning with the new breakfast burrito with loads of bacon, seasoned potatoes, and fresh cracked eggs and more. It's a complete breakfast in one hand. Only at participating U.S. Wendy's. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For today, mostly sunny skies, breezy. Wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. High temperatures in the mid-40s. Tonight, mostly clear. Low temperatures in the upper 20s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? It's Nigel. Tasted Hammer right over there. Just a little reminder. George Stephanopoulos is an a-hole.
Oh!
I mean, truly is one of the worst. Just a vicious scumbag. On his ABC News talk show over the weekend, old Georgie boy had on Representative Nancy Mace, South Carolina.
In your face, Nancy Mace.
You know that part of her past is she was raped when she was 16 years old.
She's talked about that before, but it's very emotional for her to bring it up.
Of course. And so Stephanopoulos brought up her rape in attempt to shame her for supporting Donald Trump.
How do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw?
Well, I will tell you, I was raped at the age of 16. And any rape victim will tell you, I've lived for 30 years with an incredible amount of shame over being raped. I didn't come forward because of that judgment and shame that I felt. And it's a shame that you will never feel, George. And I'm not going to sit here on your show and be asked a question meant to shame me about another potential rape victim. I'm not gonna do that.
It's actually not about shaming you. It's a question about Donald Trump.
No, you are shaming me.
You've endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Right.
Donald Trump has been found liable for rape by a jury. Donald Trump has been found liable for defaming the victim of that rape by a jury. It's been affirmed by a judge.
It was not a criminal court case, number one. Number two, I live with shame. And you're asking me a question about my political choices, trying to shame me as a rape victim, and I find it disgusting.
Yeah, she's right. I mean, E. Jean Carroll, it was a civil case, not a criminal one. And nowhere in the ruling was the word rape used in that final ruling.
And we got another clip we'll play for you here in just a moment, but you can tell in George Stephanopoulos' delivery, he doesn't regret this at all. He feels like he's absolutely right. He's absolutely justified to ask somebody about the darkest moment in their life and how it ties in to their political leanings and how they're going to vote in the upcoming election.
And quite frankly, E. Jean Carroll's comments when she did get the judgment, joking about what she was going to buy, it makes it harder for women to come forward when they make a mockery out of rape, when they joke about it.
Doesn't it make it harder for women to come forward when they
It makes it harder when other women joke about it, and she's joked about it. I find it offensive. And I also find it offensive that you're trying to shame me with this question.
I'm not trying to shame you
at
all. In fact,
I have dealt with this for 30 years. You know how hard it was to tell my story 5 years ago when they were doing a fetal heartbeat bill and there were no exceptions for rape, incest, or rape or incest in there? I had to tell my story because no other woman was coming forward. No rape victims were represented. And you're trying to shame me this morning.
I'm just asking.
And I find it offensive, and this is why women won't come forward.
Women won't come forward because they're defamed by those who perpetrate rape. Donald Trump
they are judged and they're shamed, and you're trying to shame me this morning. I think it's disgusting.
I'm not shaming you at all.
I told my story. It took me 25 years to tell my story. I was judged for it. I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
She held firm. She stood her ground. She didn't back down. That is a powerful conservative woman right there, being attacked by corporate mainstream media. George Stephanopoulos should be fired for that question. What an awful human, just a gross human being. I'm creeped out by that.
Trying to tell Nancy Mace how she should feel about Donald Trump. Well, you supported Donald Trump. You went through all of these things in your life. Don't you feel bad? I mean, I'm paraphrasing there, but that's basically what he's saying.
And he's a hypocrite because of his association with former President Bill Clinton, who I'm pretty sure has his own past with rape allegations, if memory serves correctly.
Old Snuffleupagus there, the champion of all things women.
I don't know why.
You're buddies with Bill Clinton.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know why I don't know why she would go on a program like this in the first place. I don't know why Republicans go on these programs.
But you know what, though? Maybe it was a blessing, because if you didn't know before, now you know that old Snuffleupagus is one of the great butt sniffers of all time. Just Democrat butt sniffer, rules for thee, not for me. That's who he is.
And they're still attacking Nancy Mace. Example, there's an opinion piece on Yahoo News. South Carolina's Nancy Mace weaponized her status as a rape victim in defense of Donald Trump.
Weaponized it. She defended herself against George Stephanopoulos. Oh. Unbelievable. So while that blank show was going on ABC, let's turn our attention to MSNBC. where Joe Biden was doing an interview, and of all the things that Joe Biden could talk about, of all the things he could be asked, the journalist on MSNBC, and it wasn't really one of their high-up guys, but he had to sit down with the president and basically asked Joe Biden, do you feel bad? Are you sorry that you called the killer of Laken Riley illegal?
You use the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Laken Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented. And look, when I spoke about the difference between Trump and me, one of the things I talked about on the border was that the way he talks about vermin, the way he talks about these people polluting the blood. I talked about what I'm not going to do, what I won't do. I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Look, they built the country. The reason our economy is growing. We have to control the border and more orderly flow, but I don't share his view at all.
So you regret using that word?
Yes.
I would never treat any of these people with disrespect. I would never treat the brutal killer of Laken Riley with disrespect. Never in a million years would I do this. Just like Nancy Pelosi calling an MS-13, you know, they have sparks of divinity in their heart.
They're not animals.
They're not animals.
They're people.
Again, another stunning piece of audio. Why wouldn't the reporter ask him about him mispronouncing Laken Riley's name during the State of the Union address? Would you like to apologize for maybe getting her name wrong?
Right.
He wouldn't have said anything if Marjorie Taylor Greene wouldn't have shamed him into it.
Right.
You know?
It took her kind of heckling Joe Biden at the State of the Union for him to even say her name, which he said wrong. And that's the thing. He tried to be Mr. Tough Guy. He tried to be Billy Badass by holding up the button that Large Marge gave him. Lincoln Riley. No, dummy. Lincoln Riley's the head football coach at USC. Laken Riley lost her life to somebody that should not be in this country based on your policies. And don't give me this crap that, well, if you listen to the audio, he said Laken. No, he did not.
He said
because
Laken.
I've listened to that thing over and over again, and it's not even close. And while Joe Biden was telling MSNBC that, and I'm sorry for hurting the feelings of a brutal murderer, you know what Donald Trump was doing? Meeting with the family of Laken Riley. And that needs to be what the campaign commercial is for Donald Trump. Stop the name calling, no more horse face, none of that kind of stuff. Talk about that. I think Rob mentioned this on his program earlier today. Don't trip on yourself. Stay out of the way. Let the story tell itself in this case. So we've checked in with ABC. We've checked in with MSNBC. Let's check in with our fine friends at CNN.
No.
So Jake Tapper had on Senator Raphael Warnock. He's from the state of Georgia, where, of course, the Laken Riley murder took place. It was on the campus of Georgia. Listen to the way he responds to the question from Jake.
At his rally last night, Trump met with Laken Riley's family. He blamed Biden's border policies for her death. The Rileys are your constituents. Is it not true that there were policy failures that led to this tragic murder?
Listen, first of all, let me just say that my heart goes out to this family, the family of Laken Riley. And I can tell you, as a pastor who has done hundreds of eulogies and presided over all kinds of funerals, there is no grief worse than when nature is tragically reversed, and rather than the children burying the parents have to bury the children. And so it's unfortunate that in this moment of grief, there are those who are trying to score cheap political points.
Oh, okay. I get it. Because we expose the awful border policies that Biden has accepted. How many executive orders did he sign? 90, 94, 93, 95?
I believe the correct term is crap ton. Crap ton.
I mean, politicizing this whole thing is having an argument about whether or not you should have called Laken's murderer illegal. That's politics. That's what should be pointed out here.
And right now, that's more important to some of these lunatics than anything else. There's a beautiful young lady that lost her life. There's a family that's not going to get their daughter back. But old lady Pelosi, Dementia Joe, Raphael Warnock, all of these bat crap crazy lunatics, we want to make sure that we're not hurting the feeling of brutal murderers. And again, if I'm the Republican Party, these are the commercials. Get out of your own way, keep your mouth shut, and just show these people for who they are. Make your campaign commercials basically libs of TikTok. Keep your mouth shut, use their words against them. All right, Matt Bear, what's up?
Crash 79th Michigan Road on the northwest side. Do not forget the on from 71st to northbound 65. It's closed for bridge maintenance, and it will be until the end of May. Northbound 37 stop and go traffic on the south side from Epler to 465. It's construction. Traffic sponsored by the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Guys, solve your ED today with an intimacy guarantee only at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. If you don't perform, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up here in just about 15 minutes, Guy Relford will join us for Monday Gunday. Man, we got a lot to get to with Guy. And then at 4:35, another matchup. Yes. A fresh matchup in Meltdown Madness. And this is a good one today. The 7 seed against the 10 seed. Ooh. You don't want to miss that. Right now, 57 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. We're going to have a good time today. Come on back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Crime and violence in Indy, chaos at our border. 1,000 miles apart, but the cause is the same. Soft on-crime policies pushed by the far left. I'm Jefferson Shreve. I took them on because I couldn't accept it. Now the fight is bleeding into our suburbs and up from our southern border. We need conservative leaders who keep their word. For law, order, and a secure border, I'm Jefferson Shreve, and I approve this message.
Indiana businessman Jefferson Shreve.
Let's talk about the mess we're in today. The left's pushing their agenda, our culture's under attack from the far left, and don't even get me started on the border. I took on the left and their lawlessness in Indianapolis, and now it's bleeding into our suburbs and rising from our southern border. It's time to fix the problem in Congress. For law, order, and a secure border, I'm Jefferson Shreve, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Shreve for Congress.
When it comes to remodeling your bathroom, do you think it matters if the guy who's actually in there doing the work cares about his job? Kate here from Baths R Us, and trust me, it matters a lot. Most bathroom remodelers hire the cheapest subcontractors they can find, provide no training, offer no benefits, and then fire them the second they don't have enough work to keep them busy. They can barely pay their bills, they hate their jobs, and that's the guy in there remodeling your bathroom. At Baths R Us, our installers are the lifeblood of our company, and we treat them that way. They are actual W-2 employees with great pay and benefits, insurance, 401k, vehicles, the works. We always keep them busy, and they love their jobs. So call Baths R Us if you want a gorgeous new bathroom, built with love by employees who love their jobs. Call now and get $1,500 off plus low to no monthly payments. Our number is 317-886-1761 or online at bathsrus.com. That's bathsrus.com.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
That moment when you realize you've got a plumbing problem, a real pipe-bursting, clogged-up tight, somebody-get-all-the-towels, full-on flush fiasco. But fear not, there's an expert for that.
Trust your local plumbing experts at Broad Ripple Service Experts and save $50 off any plumbing repair.
Plumbing problemos? There's an expert for that.
Call Broad Ripple Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Man, I gotta tell you, Hammer, yesterday, I watched basketball for like 8 straight hours.
It's March. It's the law.
The wife is working on some big presentation for work, so she was busy. The kids were outside playing with their buddies. And so, like, I got home from church. I turned on the Women's Big Ten Championship. Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes, winners for the 3rd time in a row.
She had a big 3 in that game to extend it.
Yes, and then after that, it was the MAC. What was it? The
Missouri Valley.
Missouri Valley with Indiana State losing a heartbreaker.
Yeah,
man, it was rough. That 18-point run they went on.
Now they're on the
incredible.
bubble. They are officially a bubble team. One of those teams that everybody's going to have to wait for on Sunday. Depending on which expert you look at, some say they sneak in, some say they don't make it.
Okay, so there's that. And then after that game was IU and Michigan State. That was a nail-biter. IU coming out with the win. Are they bubble?
Not yet. Not yet.
They need a few wins in the Big Ten tournament?
I think, and I differ from some other folks, I think Indiana has to make it to the Big Ten tournament championship game to make it in. If they get to the semifinals, maybe you can talk bubble, but they just don't have the, quote, quad 1 wins the committee's looking for. They scheduled tough teams, but they didn't beat any of them. And that's the problem.
So after that, I watched the rest of the Pacer game in Orlando.
Finally beat those dirt bags.
Yeah, finally.
Like Orlando's got the Pacers number. That's the one team that scares me. You know, if the Pacers do sneak into the playoffs here, Orlando is just a bad matchup for the Pacers. And then you find out Benedict Matherin's out for the year.
Yeah.
That stinks, man.
A good day of basketball. Man, I had a good day.
So I hate that the Big Ten tournament is not in Indianapolis this year.
Yeah, it's in, where is it, Minneapolis?
Yeah, it's up in Minnesota. Like, I get I'm a homer. I'm biased. But this thing should be in Indianapolis every year. Like, everything's connected. We care about it. We go to the games. It should be in Indy every year. But what stinks is now with the Big Ten expanding, I wouldn't put it past the Big Ten to move their tournament to like Los Angeles for a couple of years, because USC and UCLA and Oregon and all those guys are coming over. So, yeah, I kind of miss having that tournament here. Good news for the Colts, though. NFL free agency, it's wild and wacky today. Like, the big headline is Saquon Barkley of the Giants. He's going to the Eagles, as Fetterman would say. Kirk Cousins, I believe, is going to the Falcons. He's leaving Minnesota.
Russell Wilson to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, those are the big names. But I like what the Colts did. They agreed to long-term deals with Michael Pittman Jr. and Zaire Franklin.
Love it.
Both of them. Pittman, they slapped the franchise tag on because they needed more time to come up with the deal, and it looks like they got it. He's agreed to terms on a 3-year deal, $71.5 million contract extension, $46 million of that's guaranteed. Meanwhile, Zaire Franklin on the defensive side, the linebacker, I love this deal. 3 years, $31.26 million.
I bet he does too.
Right. He was a bad you-know-what this past season, and he totally got robbed on being a starter for the Pro Bowl. I know nobody cares about the Pro Bowl, but he deserved the recognition. He led the league in tackles most of the year, and the dude still got robbed. So happy about all that.
Can we go back to IU for just a second, college basketball? You were kind of fired up about Coach Woodson, weren't you?
Well, it was senior day down in Bloomington, right? So after the game, they honored the seniors, of which 2 of them said they're coming back for their COVID year, Galloway and Leal. So there's that.
When is that over, by the way?
I think this might be the last year of it. I think.
Some of these guys are like 35 years old.
But Woodson, after the game, seemed awful cocky. Quote, "There shouldn't be anything floating around about my job. I've done my job." And then he also goes on to say, quote, "I know our students are out on break this week, but we have to thank them. And most of all, our true fans. The true fans." I'll say that again, true fans.
Rather than the fans that like to criticize and talk negatively about the team when they're doing poorly.
Fans that expect, I don't know, IU basketball to make the tournament every year. I'm not saying be a Final Four team or anything like that. Make the damn show. And Woodson here getting cocky, I've done my job. Well, what's your job? To get beat in the second round of the tournament when you've got two NBA guys on your team? Because that's what happened last year. Like, I don't understand the cockiness. If he's been to a Final Four or if he's won a natty or at least made a deep run, all right, fine. But don't give me a lecture. You got bounced in the second round last year when you had Trace Jackson-Davis and Jalen Hood-Schifino.
Oh, man.
So maybe pump the brakes a little bit on the victory tour there, Woody. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Business. It's not a 9-to-5 proposition. It's all day and into the night. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these businesses is a partner like Comcast Business helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide. All these businesses choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business. From Main Street to Wall Street, our people are powering the businesses that power it all. So when you're ready to unlock what's possible for your business, there's no one better to answer the call. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Call or visit ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
Fellas, if you've been feeling tired and grumpy and have noticed a lack of motivation and drive, you may have low T. Low testosterone levels could cause weight gain, loss of muscle mass, and so much more. I recommend Low T Center. They make it quick and easy to get your levels checked, and it's only $25.
And with their on-site lab, you'll get results back in about 25 minutes. Most insurance is accepted for treatment. Go to lowtcenter.com right now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble.
Yeah?
Free alignment and a free oil change?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Michelin's up to $175 off?
Right.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. What do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Michelin's and save up to $175 more. See store for details.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
His kids saw the whole thing. Clear skies, 55 degrees downtown. All clear on your radar. Low temperatures to the lower 40s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 3:30. Jesse Sparks of Greensburg is sitting in jail now with 6 felonies. Accused of pointing a gun at someone and fighting with Columbus police officers Sunday. Police had to use a taser to get him out of his car and eventually found something in the back seat.
What was also troubling was that Sparks' 2-year-old child was in the back seat of the vehicle while all this was occurring.
Lieutenant Matt Harris with Columbus Police says meth was also found at the car along with Sparks' gun. The Delphi murders case trial date has been moved yet again, but this time It's earlier than expected. Donnie Burgess reports.
May 13th. That's the expected trial start date. The legal team for suspect Richard Allen put in a speedy trial request last week, and Special Judge Fran Gall approved it Monday. It's a tune change for the case because usually the trial start date has been pushed back over and over again. Richard Allen will have to make one more court appearance March 18th. Whatever happens at that hearing could possibly move the trial date again. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
President Biden has released his proposed budget for the next fiscal year. White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary Olivia Dalton says Biden's budget will ask Congress to lower health care costs for Americans, and she also accused Republicans of pursuing their own interests.
While President Biden is fighting for the middle class and working families, congressional Republicans are fighting for the rich and special interests. Their records reflect that, and so do their plans for the future.
Presidential budget proposals typically are not taken up by Congress. Rain could return as early as Tuesday night.
There is a small chance of seeing a few showers and maybe a rumble of thunder tomorrow night, but really the main time frame for precipitation looks to be Thursday into Thursday night.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. He says the heaviest rain will probably fall in southern Indiana. Ruoff Music Center is going to be kicking back with country tunes this summer. Here's Sam Fritz.
The multi-platinum hit country artist Kenny Chesney announced on Monday that he will be stopping by Ruoff Music Center June 20th as a part of his Sun Goes Down tour. Chesney will be touring in support of his upcoming album, Born, which is set to be released on March 22nd. He will be receiving opening act support from CMA Best New Artist nominee Megan Maroney. Tickets go on sale Friday, March 15th at 10 a.m. and can be purchased at kennychesney.com. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:32.
It's been chilly out there. Listen, Indiana winters can take a toll on your siding. It's crucial to check for cracks or breaks to avoid potential leaks and costly water damage. Good news, though, Moss Roofing has your back. From free inspections to a complete siding replacement, they've got budget-friendly plans to suit your needs. Just inquire about payment options. For all of your siding concerns, Moss Roofing is the contractor for you. Talk to Moss Roofing. Reach out to Moss Roofing today at Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com, or give them a call at 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665, or find them online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com. And don't forget to tell them that Tony Cat sent you. Your roofing needs, your siding needs, insulation, Moss Roofing has got you covered, Indianapolis. Talk to Moss Roofing today for your roofing, siding, or insulation needs. M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
With traffic at 3:33, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, south side, eastbound 465 slows on the approach to the Harding Street ramp. And then on the north side, eastbound 465, a little bit slow before and after Allisonville Road. Inbound 65, stop and go 21st to Meridian Penn, and a crash on the northwest side, 79th and Michigan Road. Traffic sponsored by B Window. A B Window is more than a pane of glass. It's specifically designed to bring more light, warmth, and inspiration into your home. And for a limited time with B, get 45% off with no payments or interest for 20 months. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear skies remain, low temperatures in the low 40s. Tuesday, another warm one, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gunday with the gun guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
He is a 2A attorney. He is a firearms instructor. He is the host of the Gun Guy Show here at 93 WIBC. Guy Relford. Guy, how are you?
Man, I'm great, and thanks as always to our sponsor for Monday Gunday. That's Premier Arms in Brownsburg, with the largest selection of new, used, and historic firearms in the Midwest, and PA Jewelers located right in the store. Check them out at 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg or premierarms.com.
So, Guy, on your program this past weekend, the Gun Guy Show, you were talking about some of these candidates running for office. We're hearing all the commercials right now. It's the election window, as it's known as. And your old pal, your euchre partner, Jefferson Shreve, he's decided that after getting his doors blown off in the mayoral race, where he turned his back on law-abiding citizens and the Second Amendment. He wants to try to go to Washington, D.C. I'm curious as to your thoughts, Guy.
Well, it's interesting because old Jefferson waited until after the Republican primary in the mayor's race to come out with his anti-Second Amendment gun control proposals, where he came out and said, well, the way to reduce crime in Marion County is to roll back constitutional carry. So apparently it's law-abiding citizens carrying without a license that are causing the problems in Marion County, and ban the evil assault weapons, quote unquote, and raise the age to buy a rifle or a shotgun from 18 to 21, so you can serve in the military and carry a machine gun or operate a drone or operate heavy artillery, but you can't come home and buy a shotgun to go hunting with your dad. And that's the way that they were going to control crime in Marion County. And, it's interesting because so far I haven't seen Jefferson come out with a gun-related, Second Amendment-related policy or plank in his platform. And it just makes me think that if the guy was willing to propose those things in Marion County, if he believes that's the way to keep society safer, the Democrats have been trying to pass all those things in Congress for years. So if we send Jefferson Shreve to represent Indiana's 6th district, which is squarely within the WIBC listening area, by the way, are we sending a guy who's simply going to jump on the bandwagon with the Democrats and Joe Biden to do the Democrats' bidding on gun control? Because I have a hard time believing that that leopard can change his spots. And if not, then well, wait a minute. Does that mean you were just pandering to the liberal voters in Marion County? You didn't really believe in those things, which makes you a liar, which I don't necessarily want to send to Congress either. So I'm really interested. I've reached out to his campaign, and I've gotten crickets so far. But that was the topic of discussion. I had quite a few callers and a lot of feedback on social media where people are not forgetting that old Jefferson had those planks in his platform when he was running for mayor.
Yeah, let's pivot here. We're speaking with Guy Relford here on the Hammer Nigel show. A couple of gun store robberies in the news recently. Looks like 3 teenage boys have been arrested for one of the robberies, the Indy Arms Company there on the east side. It looks like there was another, I believe was it 500 guns that was robbed as well? There were two different separate burglaries within a matter of hours. It looks like some teenagers have been detained. What do you make of all this, Guy?
Well, I think it's the same group of teenagers as the speculation. I was talking to one of the folks from Indy Arms today, and by the way, they didn't get anything from Indy Arms. Indy Arms has great security, and they weren't actually able to make off with anything because they had everything properly locked up, and it's damn hard to even get in that building, although they tried really hard. Apparently tried twice. But they didn't get anything from Indy Arms, but they did from Indy 500, or from 500 guns, I should say, and apparently. And I'm hoping that since they caught these kids, these juvenile delinquents, that they've recovered those guns. But listen, it's something that we've seen at gun stores a lot over the years, and and I have a lot of friends who operate gun stores. My friends at Pinnacle right here in Carmel had a break-in where they drove through a side window, and they've had to take a bunch of additional security precautions in there. So I think it's definitely kudos to Indy Arms for all their great security that kept everything secure and safe. But it just goes to show, if you're in that business, the incredible lengths you have to go to keep your place secure, because a lot of criminals out there love to steal guns.
Guy, where are the?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Where are the parents? I mean, I think I just kind of glossed over the part where the juveniles that were arrested were reportedly aged 13, 14, and 15, and this all happened at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show you we've got parents who are asleep at the switch. But how many single parent or no parent homes do kids grow up in these days, man? That's right. That's a sign of the times. Everybody wants to blame the guns. Well, hey, here they're trying to steal guns. It's got to come back to the parents at some point.
And the thing is, and bringing it back to what you said about Jefferson Shreve earlier, and politicians like him that feel like we have to raise the age to purchase a firearm. These kids were anywhere from 13 to 15 years old.
Yeah.
What law in place would, prevent these kids from trying to steal weapons? When you try to do these types of, rules and regulations, the only people that get hurt are the people that abide by the law. These kids don't give a damn about abiding by the law.
No, that's exactly the point. And that's what I always ask. What law can we pass that will suddenly require or suddenly induce people who break the law, that's what we call criminals, to suddenly start following your new law? It's naive. It's beyond naive to the point of being laughable.
Guy Relford with us. It's Monday Gunday on the Hammer and Nigel show. Another one of your close personal friends, I think somebody that comes over and watches March Madness with you, are the fine folks of the ATF, Guy.
Oh, yeah.
And
you bet.
There's a viral video going around now. I said this to you over the weekend. The ATF, I'm going to use air quotes here, weapons expert, having no idea how to disassemble a simple weapon, a pistol. Did that surprise you at all?
No, and it's just the state of affairs we have with the Biden administration, where everybody who is the absolute most incompetent we can find for any given position, that's exactly who gets the job. And the weapons, he was trying to field strip, disassemble a Glock, and Glocks are designed to be the simplest firearm to disassemble. It breaks down into its essential components, the four main components. Then it's called field stripping. That's what you do. You're going to clean it, lubricate it. It comes apart in about 8 seconds, and it's the simplest possible thing in the world. And this guy couldn't do it. And the video that you sent me is hilarious because a young lady is spoofing this guy and making fun of him, and where he can't do it, and he gets totally confused and frustrated and sets the gun down, and she looks at the camera and without even really looking just does the whole thing in about 5 seconds and just sort of smirks at the camera because it is that easy.
It is. You taught my kids to do this in your gun safety class, Guy. You taught my kids to do this, and they figured it out quickly. And the quote ATF weapons expert who wants to tell you how dangerous everything is and what you can and can't do. This guy doesn't know his rear end from a hole in the ground.
Well, no, that's exactly right. And these are the people that are regulating your Second Amendment rights under the Constitution. That's what's scary. They really have no understanding of the whole subject matter they're attempting to regulate. It is comical, except for when it actually impacts lives, and I see that daily in my practice.
But what's going on at the State House? Did your bills got passed last week, right? Both of them?
Yeah, 1235, House Bill 1235 is going to end this ridiculous Gary lawsuit where the city of Gary is trying to blame the entire gun industry for its crime issues. We're finally, it looks like, going to require that to go away. We've been trying to impose the immunity that the law has created for quite some time in that case. Looks like this should do it. We'll see. And then the other one that prevents the use of these credit card codes that I really think is the banking industry and gun control proponents trying to target gun stores and gun manufacturers ultimately so as to not allow them to use credit cards. I really think that's the end game. That's these codes that are specific for purchases at gun stores. Why do you want to identify these for any reason, I think, other than to discriminate against them by financial institutions? And we've seen that all over the country and the state, and I've experienced it personally, where credit card processors don't want to do business with any, even a firearms instructor, which is completely ridiculous, but that's what we see. And that bill passed. That it was amended in the Senate, and this is what got out of conference committee, and I don't like this amendment. It was one where if it was violated and a bank or credit card processor or credit card company is requiring the use of these codes or discriminates against a business based on the use of these codes. Used to be the Attorney General investigated that, and they could impose a fine up to $10,000 per occurrence, which was great. I mean, that's a big stick. and we loved it. That's the way it was written. In the Senate, they amended that to take out the statutory penalty and just say, well, the bank regulators are going to enforce this without a defined penalty. And the argument was, well, the regulators can actually revoke their charter, and that's worse than imposing a fine. But I worry about how chummy the bank regulators are to the whole banking industry and whether we'll get strict enforcement. So we'll have to see. And I'm looking for people to, even after this goes into effect in July, or when it goes into effect, I'm curious to see if we still see this kind of discrimination, and if so, we're going to have more to talk about at the State House. But good news, in the short term, we got both the bills that we were working on that I testified for multiple times, both the House and the Senate. We got them both passed, and they're on their way to the governor.
Guy, would you mind sticking around for one more segment here? Because I got a piece of audio I want to play for you when we come back. It's Joe Biden comparing the gun industry to the tobacco industry. And I think this is something right in your wheelhouse. Can you come on back?
You betcha.
All right. Monday Gunday with Guy Relford. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
If you love spring and Indy but hate the paint, do what Lynn did. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time we had the roof done as well.
Now you can have the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have said they don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter because Rhino Shield has the 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Let Bill Estes put you behind the wheel of the powerhouse brands that define American toughness. Ford, Chevy, Ram, and GMC.
Right now, get up to $12,000 off a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew 4x4.
Unleash the power of the road with Bill Estes Trucks. Find the location near you and see their inventory at BillEstesTrucks.com.
Offer includes trade assist from Ford. All rebates and incentives included in final discount. Stock number BFBL 230707. Raptor excluded from all offers. See dealer for details.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
BoerRemodeling.com, serving Central Indiana for 23 years. These are your kitchen and bathroom remodeling specialists. When you're ready to make the change, they're ready for you. It's a new year, so it's time to get it done. That kitchen, that heart of the home, the bathroom, a place where you can actually relax and build instant equity in your home. 317-852-5546 or online at Boer, B-O-O-H-E-R, BoerRemodeling.com.
Hi, it's Bob from Royal Spa. Soaking in a hot tub full of Epsom salts is the absolute best way to minimize everyday aches and pains. And we know all about Epsom salts at Royal Spa. Royal Spa hot tubs are the only hot tubs on the market that can safely and effectively use Epsom salts. Made right here in Indiana, Royal Spa hot tubs are the highest quality hot tubs on the market. Visit any one of our 3 Indianapolis locations or visit royalspa.com.
Ah, Royal Spa. My brother never checks on Dad, or my sister won't make time to take Mom to the doctor. Are these things you've heard yourself say? This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I have a caregiving tip for you. Stay tuned.
At Cardon Senior Living Communities, you'll find our teams share a commitment to enhancing the lifestyle and well-being of the people we serve every day at every stage of life.
Expressing anger or resentment toward unsupportive siblings can cause unmendable rifts in relationships. Don't try to control everyone else. You can only control yourself. The success of your caregiving journey does not rest on others. So enjoy the time with your loved one. This is your special time with them. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Thinning hair? This year, grow your hair back like I did. Call 317-522-2995 or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com.
For a limited time, Bee is offering 45% off with no payments and no interest for 20 months.
That's Faber's Bee Window. Trust me.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
I can't wait to hear what Guy Relford has to say in regards to this clip from Joe Biden. We're going to have that coming up right after Matt Baer checks the roads.
It's a stall southbound 65 coming into downtown before Meridian Penn, right in the middle of the interstate. Center lane closed and stop-and-go traffic back to 29th Street. 17-minute delay if you're starting at 29th and trying to get to Meridian Penn. Crash northwest side 79th and Michigan Road. Crash east side Washington and Sherman. Traffic sponsored by B Window. A B Window is more than a pane of glass. It's specifically designed to bring more light, warmth, and inspiration into your home. And for a limited time with B, get 45% off with no payments or interest for 20 months. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
All right, it's 58 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here.
Hello.
It's Monday Gunday with Guy Relford. And Guy, I'm going to play you a little piece of audio here. This is Joe Biden over the weekend comparing the gun industry to the tobacco industry.
Imagine if tobacco had the same limitations, companies, that gun manufacturers. The only major corporation in America, industry in America, that you cannot sue is gun manufacturers. Think about that.
So, Guy, I hope you can decipher whatever the hell that was, and I'm curious as to your thoughts.
Well, where to start? It's completely ludicrous because primarily the gun industry can get sued if it sells a defective product that injures people due to the defect in the product. Then they can be sued for that. So if tobacco had exactly the same protections that the gun industry has, they could still be sued for all the things that they were sued for, and billions and billions were collected in settlements and in verdicts from the tobacco industry. And if they had exactly the same protection, they could still be sued for that. And the only thing that would protect the tobacco industry, if they had the same quote unquote protection that the gun industry does, if somebody took a truckload of cigarettes and used them to commit an arson to burn down your building, they'd say, wait a minute. They took cigarettes and used them in a crime, and so you can't blame the cigarette manufacturers for the fact that somebody took their product and used it in a criminal act. That's not the manufacturer's fault. That's the criminal's fault. That's the only thing the gun manufacturers get protection from. The guy either doesn't understand what the law is he's talking about, or he knows and he's intentionally mischaracterizing it. Because, listen,
it could be both, Guy. Very well could be both.
It could very well be both. But listen, if any defect in the product that causes an injury, I'm getting ready to have a claim against a major gun manufacturer because they have a defect. They issued a recall on the gun because of this defect. But before the recall, that exact defect caused a really, really horrible injury. And we're going to go talk to the gun manufacturer about how they're liable for this. And the immunity he's talking about has no application because it's a defective product and they're not protected from that.
And it's such BS.
They can't be sued.
And it's such BS. I'm sorry, just real quick. Talk about protections from the government. You can't sue pharma companies. There's something called the PERP Act or the PrEP Act. You can't sue people for vaccine injuries at this point. And it's funny how Joe Biden didn't mention that at all and the protections those companies get.
Well, that's a really good point. And again, there you are talking about the tobacco type liability because you're talking about a potential defect in the product that makes people sick. And that's not the protection the gun industry has ever had or has now, and it's ludicrous to even make that comparison.
Guy, if somebody wants to reach out to you, if they want to ask you a question, hire you, or just pick your brain about anything, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Really, the best way is Twitter, at Guy Relford, or a website inquiry at Relford Law is really the best way. I really prefer those to come in writing. That way I can get to them when I have time.
Guy Relford, host of the Gun Guy Show and the best damn 2A attorney in all of America. Guy, have a great week, man.
Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure.
Nige, coming up next, we've got some high-profile legal stuff. Okay. And then 4:35, a new matchup in Meltdown Madness. Don't go anywhere. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Let me tell you about Travis Barnes, a local guy from Indy, sees what happens on September 11th and decides he needs to do something, so he joins the Marines, goes through basic, gets shipped over to Iraq, does 3 tours in Operation Iraqi Freedom, and through all of this, he learns about the Marine mindset, doing things right, discipline, with only the highest standards. Travis rises up to sergeant, receives multiple combat action medals and citations, survives several IEDs, and becomes combat disabled. So he comes back to Indiana and starts Hotel Tango Distillery. Some of you might have heard of Hotel Tango, but if not, here's the deal. They're an Indianapolis company that produces spirits made with the high standards Travis learned while serving. I've tried their bourbon. I enjoy their bourbon. 94 score from Wine Enthusiast, gold at the San Francisco Spirits Competition, and the best part, under $40. So if you haven't tried it yet, head down to wherever you buy your spirits and pick up a bottle of Hotel Tango. Thanks to Travis for his service, and thanks to Hotel Tango for sponsoring the show. Hotel Tango, distilled with discipline. HotelTangoDistillery.com. Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Michaelis presents Password. The word is basement.
Wet. Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy.
Underwear.
No, it's basement. Really moldy underwear.
Well, sometimes.
Ew. Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Call today. Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. That's 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
Our patient's most common regret statement? I just wish I would have done this sooner.
Find out more at AdventKnows.com because breathing well will help you live better.
Woodard Emhart, Henry Reeves & Wagner. Over 140 years specializing exclusively in patent, trademark, trade secret, and copyright law and litigation. On the web at uspatent.com.
Parents, teachers, school board members, do you want your school to experience the richness of academic freedom or the constraints of a one-size-fits-all federal mandate called Common Core Standards? Advocates for academic freedom is for educational excellence and local control of your school. Come join the fight for your children's education. You can contact us at advocatesforacademicfreedom.org or call 1-715-234-5072.
Your one blood donation can help save the lives of up to 3 people. Give blood through the American Red Cross to help hospital patients. Visit redcrossblood.org today.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Donnie Burgess reports on a new trial date in the Delphi murders case. A man accused of pointing a gun at a few people in Columbus has been arrested, and why you shouldn't get used to the warmer weather. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
They pull the strings. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That, in so many words, is what the head of the FBI is telling Congress about the Chinese Communist Party and TikTok. Director Christopher Wray says for all intents and purposes, the app's parent company, ByteDance, is beholden to the CCP. This under questioning from Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio.
And if they went to him and said, we want you to change your algorithm so that Americans start seeing videos that hurt this candidate or help that candidate in the upcoming election, ByteDance would have to do that under Chinese law.
That's my understanding.
Wray says those kinds of influence operations are extraordinarily difficult to detect.
Which is part of what makes the national security concerns represented by TikTok so significant.
The House could vote this week on a bill that would ban TikTok in the U.S. unless ByteDance divests. That threats hearing also focuses on Russia, Iran, North Korea, in what intelligence agencies call an increasingly fragile world order. Republicans raising the southern U.S. border and possible terrorist ties to Mexican border gangs. The FBI director says they are concerned about that and possible ISIS ties to human trafficking. The Biden administration reaffirming support for Israel while continuing to express concern about civilian deaths in Gaza.
You can't answer the question about Israel's conduct without giving an accurate assessment of the situation that they are in, of trying to conduct legitimate military and counterterrorism operations against an enemy that has sworn the destruction of Israel.
State Department spokesman Matthew Miller, after President Biden said it would cross a red line for Israel to go into Rafah, the southern Gaza city, where more than 1 million civilians are sheltering. The Israeli prime minister repeating his call for a total victory over Hamas. A mixed finish on Wall Street, the Dow up 47 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
It'll happen sooner rather than later. 56 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing on your radar. Low of 42 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. There's a new trial date for the Delphi murders case. Donnie Burgess reports.
Suspect Richard Allen will not go on trial in October. The start date has been moved up to May 13th. Allen's legal team asked for a speedy trial last week, and it was granted Monday. The next hearing is March 18th in Allen County. Contempt of court and additional charges were to be discussed at this hearing, but it's unclear for now if it will have any effect on the new May trial date. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Jesse Sparks is in jail, accused of pointing a gun at someone Sunday morning and then fighting with Columbus police. Sparks apparently reached down inside the car, and that's when police hit him with a taser and arrested him.
A law enforcement officer from the sheriff's office was injured during the incident, so there's enhanced charges for that.
Lieutenant Matt Harris with Columbus PD. Sparks was found with a gun and meth in the car. His 2-year-old child was in the back seat and saw the whole thing. The man arrested in Saturday morning's hit-and-run case was made a suspect after he called the cops. Sam Fritz explains.
IMPD say they responded to the Courtyard Marriott Hotel on Indy's west side after Salvador Benales called them with a vandalism complaint. Benales said he believed someone had sideswiped his rental car the previous night. Investigators would later learn that his car actually matched the one that was used in the hit-and-run on Massachusetts Avenue just hours earlier. Officers managed to arrest Benales in the Indianapolis airport just before he was going to board his return flight to Texas. He was charged with leaving the scene of an accident and false informing. He is currently being held in the Marion County Jail. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Temperatures could reach the 70s this week, but don't take the warm weather for granted.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like once we get into early next week, things are going to get cold again. We're looking at the potential for sub-freezing temperatures. Looks like Monday night and maybe even Tuesday night of next week.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service reminding you that it's still winter. He says expect a few days of rain this week before those temperatures drop. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Spring is here and you want to be enjoying your life, enjoying the outdoors. It is impossible to do if you're in constant pain. Pain in your hips, your back, your shoulder, those joints, whether it's arthritis pain, sports injury, an injury on the job. Talk to QC Kinetics and you don't have to live with the pain. QC Kinetics here in Indy, and it's the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. We're talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Pro athletes have been doing doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. Walk, run, climb the stairs, play golf, move again with no pain, no risky surgery. It's an all-natural solution. QC Kinetics is in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and in Carmel. Call today, 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. Talk to QC Kinetics. They even have Saturday appointments available. QC Kinetics. Find the location closest to you. Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, we do have a stall coming into downtown. It's southbound 65 at Meridian Penn. It's right there in the middle of the interstate, blocking the center lane and stopping traffic back to MLK. Delay time is now 26 minutes if you're at the back of the line. Crash Sherman Drive at Washington Street, northbound 37 is stop and go from Epler up to 465, and that ramp closed late last week. It is West 71st to northbound 65. That's going to be down until late May because of bridge maintenance. Traffic sponsored by the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Guys, solve your ED today with an intimacy guarantee only at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. If you don't perform, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear skies remain, low temperatures in the low 40s. Tuesday, another warm one, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into some legal stuff.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff. So the update in the Delphi trial is that it's going to be moved up. Joining us now in studio is the man that's going to be covering the Delphi trial. Hard for me to say. Delphi trial from the very beginning until the very end is Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom. So, Donnie, get us up to date. What is going on?
So for once in this story, the trial date has not been pushed back. It's been moved up. It was supposed to happen October 15th, and now it is going to start May 13th. And the reason... Yeah,
that's a big jump, right?
Very big jump. Last week, the suspect, Richard Allen, his legal team, they asked for a speedy trial, which they've asked for that before. But as we all know, there have been several hiccups and roadblocks that have prevented that from happening. But the judge agreed. They're going to do a speedy trial. Now, there's a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo that could push it or extend it or anything like that. But as of now, we are set to go May 13th.
Now, this is surprising because there were a lot of people, myself included, that thought, man, there's no way this October trial date is going to start on time. And now they've moved it up to May?
Yeah, well, I think what we're starting to realize now, if you are really in the weeds and you're following every court motion like I am because I'm nuts, then you're starting to realize they're pretty much ready to go. Both the prosecution and the defense have submitted almost everything. A lot of, even some of the issues that are coming up on March 18th, which is the next big court hearing.
That's the contempt of court.
Yes. So
the defense team, right?
The prosecution wants to hold the lawyers in contempt, but the prosecutor, Nick McClellan, has now found himself in a little bit of trouble, so we may just be heading towards a stalemate.
So what do you mean the Carroll County prosecutor, Nick McClellan, has found himself in trouble? What's that mean?
So last week, McClellan filed to get third-party records for Richard Allen. Part of the reason why, part of the way to justify doing that is he admitted that he has been reading since 2022 ex parte motions. Now, someone's like, what the hell does that mean? Ex parte motions, that is private. That's supposed to be private between whoever files it and the judge. He's been reading those from the defense's side since almost day one.
How do you get those?
So I don't know the exact mechanism on how they're uploaded, or basically everyone has access to that portal of like, hey, here's something uploaded, like you might do if you're, I don't know, BMV or something, right? Might upload something or whatever, but they are specifically labeled. You are not supposed to touch those, and he has been. Wow. And that could be grounds for punishment on his end. Not sure if he will be or not, but there we are.
So when this trial starts, you serving as a reporter in the WIBC newsroom, will you be in court? Are they letting? They're letting press in court, right?
I imagine, I imagine.
I know it's streaming, though, right?
I imagine in the past they have let people, they've let reporters in court, but they've not streamed it online or broadcast it. Most media members have had to just do a live blog. Now we're hoping for full transparency for this to be broadcast, as we're hoping it will be, but if it's not, even then, still going to be out there every single day, live blogs, tweets, doing updates throughout the day on newscasts. We will have this bell to bell.
And I'm hoping they've got some sort of audio system in place, because the last time we reported on something that had an in-studio camera was the decision that the jury had in regards to the guy that killed IMPD officer Breanne Leaf. And while the picture was immaculate,
right. We couldn't understand.
You couldn't hear anything from the court.
Elias Dorsey, you could see him, but you couldn't hear anything.
Right. Yeah. I'm hoping that whoever's in charge of getting that set up puts a few microphones in there. Donnie, one more time, give us the bullet points on the upcoming dates and what's going on.
Richard Allen, charged with the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. He hopefully will be in court on trial May 13th through May 31st. So this will take us through Memorial Day, through the 500, a lot of big happenings going on in the state of Indiana. And hopefully that will be the day, that will be the time period in which we find out if this man is guilty or innocent.
And the March contempt hearing, will Richard Allen be there for that?
He should be, yes. He should be there, and the issues of contempt should be settled there, and anything else. Hopefully everything that they need to get out of the way is done so we can get to business.
Where can we get more information?
WIBC.com is where it's at.
Donnie Burgess, WIBC Newsroom, thank you.
Thank you.
We've got more legal stuff here, Nige. Fulton County DA Fannie Willis. You know Fannie, right?
Oh, yeah. She's going after Trump for election interference down there in Fulton County.
Fannie. So the decision on her fate could come this week. We're waiting to find out if the judge is going to dismiss her from the case or allow her to continue. If she is dismissed, that would mean we now have questions about the legal stuff Donald Trump is facing down in Fulton County.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, she is alleged to have hired her lover to go ahead and prosecute the case. And there was a question as to whether or not they were lovers before she decided to appoint this guy. I think his name's Nathan Wade. And just more legal stuff there. And it all looks like it's a bunch of, just corrupt crap going on trips, getting paid $650,000 salaries for this guy that really wasn't even qualified to run this prosecution, and then turning around and going on trips, and she was giving him cash. It's just...
She was giving him a little bit more than cash. That's what it sounds like. Now, here's the thing. Before everybody gets, their hopes high for justice, keep in mind, the judge has donated to Fannie Willis's political career in the past.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't the max donation. We're not talking about like Soros-style money here, but the judge has been a donor to Fannie Willis in the past. So do with that information as you wish. Last hour, we were talking about how Joe Biden basically apologized for calling the killer of Laken Riley an illegal. He's having to walk it all back now.
It was during the State of the Union address.
A Biden spokeswoman, Olivia Dalton, she did a press gaggle with members of the media on Air Force One, and she's claiming that Joe Biden actually didn't apologize for calling him an illegal.
First of all, I want to be really clear about something. The president absolutely did not apologize. There was no apology anywhere in that conversation. He did not apologize. He used a different word. I think what we should be really clear about is the facts. So in addition to the fact that, the president did not apologize, I want to make another thing clear. The president spoke directly to this in the State of the Union address not 4 nights ago when he spoke passionately about knowing what it means to lose a child and extended his deep grief and condolences to Laken Riley's family in front of the entire country in the House chamber. And beyond that, I think it's unconscionable that there are some people who are playing politics with this young woman's tragic murder. And particularly at a time when, let's not forget, House Republicans are standing in the way of a bipartisan border security agreement that is the toughest bill we have ever seen in history.
I mean, this whole thing about Biden making it about himself when he says, I know what you went through. I know what you guys are going through. I had a son that died. No, your son wasn't brutally murdered by an illegal alien that shouldn't have been here.
Right.
He died of cancer.
So we're playing the old Greg Brady bit, right, from Brady Bunch. There was an old Brady Bunch episode where Greg Brady said, I want to live by exact words, right? And then, of course, the wise, sage Mr. Brady said, okay, you want to live by exact words, we'll do it, and it backfires on Greg.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that. I'm not familiar with that episode.
That's what Olivia Dalton is doing here with the Bidens. So she claims Joe Biden never issued an apology for saying illegal. Take a listen to what Joe Biden said.
You used the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Laken Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented. And look, when I spoke about the difference between Trump and me, one of the things I talked about on the border was that the way he talks about vermin, the way he talks about these people polluting the blood. I talked about what I'm not going to do, what I won't do. I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Look, they built the country. The reason our economy is growing. We have to control the border and more orderly flow, but I don't share his view at all.
So you regret using that word?
Yes.
So he regrets it, shouldn't have used it, but he didn't say apology. So
he's not sorry about it.
Right. That's okay for Olivia Dalton at the White House.
I'll never treat any of these people with disrespect. Even the ones that violently murder innocent young college students. I will never, ever treat them with disrespect.
And lost in all that bull crap was, by the way, illegals have built this country.
Okay.
Again,
go with that.
Campaign commercials. There you go. Matt Bear.
Lawrence, northbound 465 crash, east 56th Street, blocking the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic. Back to Penn Pike. Southbound 65-2 downtown, still jammed because of a stall at Meridian Penn. It's in the middle of the interstate, blocking the center lane. And backing us up to MLK. Delay time there is 27 minutes. Eastbound 70 now slow to downtown from Harding to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. Make the hiring process work for you with Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution. You can attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Started at Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
You need to jump on the live in-studio cam, jump on the YouTube chat. We're having a good time this afternoon, and we got some big-time stuff coming up. 4:35. Okay, we're about 15 minutes away from Meltdown Madness, presented by Window Nation. 2 high-profile meltdowns going head-to-head. That's coming up. But up next, it's America's fastest-growing game sensation, Is This Anything? It's 59 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Crime and violence in Indy, chaos at our border. 1,000 miles apart, but the cause is the same. Soft on-crime policies pushed by the far left. I'm Jefferson Shreve. I took them on because I couldn't accept it. Now the fight is bleeding into our suburbs and up from our southern border. We need conservative leaders who keep their word. For law, order, and a secure border, I'm Jefferson Shreve, and I approve this message.
Indiana businessman Jefferson Shreve.
Let's talk about the mess we're in today. The left's pushing their agenda. Our culture's under attack from the far left. And don't even get me started on the border. I took on the left and their lawlessness in Indianapolis, and now it's bleeding into our suburbs and rising from our southern border. It's time to fix the problem in Congress. For law, order, and a secure border, I'm Jefferson Shreve, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Shreve for Congress.
Hey, Wings Etc. fans, guess what? March 13th is Wing Scooter Madness Day. We're rolling back prices on award-winning wings and big ice cold scooters to just 59 cents for wings and $5.25 for domestic scooters. Dine in only. Mark your calendars for this Wednesday, March 13th, and get great deals on wings and domestic scooters when you dine in on Wing Scooter Madness Day. This March 13th, one day only, and only at your local Wings Etc. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub with 15 Central Indiana locations. Find us online at wingsetc.com.
That moment when you realize your furnace is stone cold busted. We're talking a real put on every sweater you own, I can't feel my feet, penguin predicament. But fear not, there's an expert for that.
Let your local experts at Broad Ripple Service Experts keep you warm with $50 off any repair.
Like it toasty? There's an expert for that.
Call Broad Ripple Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
Everyone wants energy that's reliable and affordable. I've been a Duke Energy line worker here in Indiana for almost 20 years. So I'm proud to help deliver that for the people and the communities that matter most to me. With stronger, more resilient systems, better able to stand up to severe weather, and support for local businesses and jobs. It feels good knowing I'm helping build a smarter energy future for all of us.
Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
America respects our first responders and veterans, the brave whose business is taking action when calamity strikes. It's dangerous work, often surrounded by sirens, shouting, even gunfire, so hearing loss is probable. First responders can turn to Relay Indiana. If you have trouble hearing on the telephone, visit RelayIndiana.com for voice recognition technology phones that allow the hearing impaired to have normal phone conversations. And there's loaned equipment for those who qualify. Get clarity back on the phone. Visit RelayIndiana.com.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Discovery, innovation, progress. It all starts right here at IU Indianapolis. We're making cutting-edge discoveries in science, technology, and healthcare. We're investing in Indiana's future with degrees that make a difference. We're partnering with local businesses to drive our city forward. And we're just getting started. See where we're going at indianapolis.iu.edu/start.
Hammer and Nigel presents
Is.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, Hammer, is this anything?
Yes.
Yes, how do we play?
You all right, Biden? You short-circuiting over there? Everything all right?
I'm short-circuiting. Anyway.
Let's just move on.
All right, we all know how to play. Anyway. Yes, it is.
Sleepy Nige. Sleep at the wheel. Last night, the Academy Awards took place. Did you watch any of it?
No, zero.
Oscar winner, acting legend, Al Pacino. He presented the award for Best Picture last night, but he was kind of awkward in his delivery.
Oh, this is so cringy.
It was the only award where the nominees were not listed before the envelope announcement. He just opened it up, and boom goes the dynamite.
Wait a minute. So hold on. You're supposed to, before you give the winner for Best Picture, you're supposed to list off all the nominees.
Correct.
For Best Picture, correct?
Right.
You're saying that's not what happened?
I don't know. Did I do some Shakespeare now? I think is in order, right? To be. No, I'm not going to do it. No. Sorry. Well, this is the time for the last award of the evening. And it's my honor to present it. 10 wonderful films were nominated, but only one will take the award for Best Picture. And I have to go to the envelope for that. And I will. Here it comes. And my eyes see Oppenheimer. Yes. Yes, Emma Thomas, Charles Grodin.
Very dramatic announcement for Best Picture.
Yeah, it's Oppenheimer. This is something, Al Pacino knows the drill. How many times has he been to the Oscars? Like he just rambled there for 2 minutes and then open up that's not the protocol there for Best Picture. You're supposed to give all the nominees the respect and then announce who the winner is, which, by the way, Oppenheimer, they swept up. They cleaned up.
Right.
And just a further note, just a side note, Godzilla won an award.
Well, it's about time. It's about time Godzilla took some hardware home.
Godzilla won the award for Best Visual Effects.
I do know that Ryan Gosling performed the I'm Just Ken song live and brought out Slash to play the guitar last night.
I didn't see that.
That do anything for you at all?
Let me check that out on break, and I'll get back to you.
All right. Is this anything? A missing Florida woman was found after almost 72 hours trapped inside of a shipping container.
Ooh.
Someone heard banging on the container and let her out.
Ooh.
Here's the trapped woman and the owner of the shipping business talking about what happened.
So what happened?
I don't know. I was in one place and I found in another.
We found a lady in a container of ours. Heard her knocking, and then she come out. Yep, she's been missing for 3 days, so something else is going on. There's something more to the story.
Yeah, there's definitely something else going on. Hiding out, maybe. I wonder what it smelled like in that shipping container. Like all these other...
That's the first thing you thought about when you heard there was a woman trapped in a container.
Well, look,
God, I wonder what it smelled like.
She's okay. They found her, but I'm wondering what the accommodations were in terms of toiletries and sewage and plumbing.
First thing I thought of, nice try, Indiana Jones. Maybe try a little harder next time. Trying to lock somebody up in a box. Last one here. Is this anything? During Madonna's show in Inglewood, California, she likes to see her fans standing up, right? Well, here she is calling out a fan that was sitting down, only to find out the fan was in a wheelchair.
What are you doing sitting down over there? What are you doing sitting down? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Politically incorrect. Sorry about that. I'm glad you're here.
I mean, screw you. Even if the person wasn't in a wheelchair, what do you care if they're sitting down or not? They paid for the ticket. If I want to sit, I'll sit. If I want to stand, I'll stand. But Hammer, this brings us to great moments in telling people in wheelchairs to stand up history. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden.
Stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about?
There it is.
It was
Stand up, Chuck.
That was some senator or something that he was honoring or something, right?
It was years ago.
Yeah, it was years ago. Oh, good Lord. So great moments in telling people in wheelchairs to stand up history.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Maybe you want to sell the house you're living in now, but you think it's too difficult to sell. It's in a weird location, or maybe it needs a lot of work done to it. Don't worry about it with Mark Dietel. Mark Dietel is the only agent I trust and recommend to sell my house and find me a new one. Just like Dan and Jen in Avon, they were ready to downsize, move to a smaller dream home, but there was a lot of challenges to navigate. They had Mark Dietel and his team on their side, and they got their difficult-to-sell home sold at the price they needed.
Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is the Mark Dietel guarantee. So go with the best. Go with Mark Dietel. He's the only agent we recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel show. 317-755-4232, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark D-I-E-T-E-L. markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Come on, Indy. Don't use the spring to paint your house year after year. Do what Deanna did. She called Rhino Shield.
I was noticing some cracks and the paint's faded. I was like, okay, I think I should get my house painted. So my neighbor had a Rhino Shield placard in the yard. And after they were finished, I was just, wow. With the warranty and everything, it just seemed silly not to go that route.
The ceramic coating of Rhino Shield is specifically formulated for our climate.
So the Rhino Shield crew came out. Nothing was damaged in the process. I was very happy. They just didn't leave a mess. You couldn't even tell they were there. And the house looked so different. It just looked like a new home.
Backed by a 25-year transferable warranty. And now get the protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Rhino Shield, I think it increases the value and the curb appeal of your home. Definitely worth it.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, if you're tired of eating at the same old places, try Jay's Lobster and Fish Markets. It's right there in the Garage Food Hall, the Bottle Works District, downtown Indy. Famous for their lobster rolls and brand new. Check this out. You got to try the hot honey fried lobster roll.
And I love Palavana Cubano, the newest, tastiest Cuban sandwich restaurant in Indy. It's also in the Garage Food Hall in the Bottle Works District. That Cuban Reuben, unbelievable. Palavana Cubano, tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Cops say he pointed his gun at someone. Sunny and 58 degrees downtown. No rain on your radar. Low of 42 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. Jesse Sparks of Greensburg is sitting in jail now with 6 felonies, accused of pointing a gun at someone and fighting with Columbus police yesterday. Officers had to use a taser to get him out of his car and eventually found something in the back seat.
What was also troubling was that Sparks' 2-year-old child was in the back seat of the vehicle while all this was occurring.
Lieutenant Matt Harris with Columbus Police says meth was also in the car along with Sparks' gun. It's been moved up from the fall. The trial for the Delphi murder suspect will start May 13th rather than in October, after a motion filed by Richard Allen's attorneys for a speedy trial was given the green light by Special Judge Fran Gohl. President Biden is campaigning in New Hampshire today after announcing his budget proposal for next year.
Nobody, well, as long as I'm president, who earns less than $400,000, it's a lot more than I ever made, will pay an additional penny in federal taxes. Nobody, not a single cent. Nobody will pay a single penny more, and they haven't thus far.
Biden said he'll protect Social Security and Medicare and claimed former President Trump wants to cut those programs. It's only supposed to get warmer this week, says Andrew White with the National Weather Service.
So we're going to be gradually warming up through the start of the week. Temperatures today are generally going to be around 60 across the state, but we have the potential to see 70 degrees for the next couple days, starting tomorrow and Wednesday.
Rain is likely to accompany that warmer weather. White says storms could start Tuesday night, but he doesn't expect anything severe. You're paying an average of $3.33 a gallon for gas today, says AAA. That's down 9 cents from last week and 6 cents below the national average. A mixed day on the market. The Dow was up by 46 to 38,769. The NASDAQ down by 65 to 16,019, and the S&P 500 down by 5 to 5,117. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
A house isn't a home without a little wear and tear, spilled milk, or muddy paws. But don't just clean it, quick shine it. Hey, Pat Sullivan here for Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners with some Floor Care 101 tips. First, no matter the surface type, be sure to remove dust and debris. Avoid heavy chemicals or all-purpose liquids as they can damage the sealant layer or leave an oily residue. Now, to best clean and protect your floors at a modest price, don't just clean it, quick shine it. Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners use ingredients that make it better for kids, pets, and the environment with an EPA Safer Choice certification. And Quick Shine has a full line of products to treat any surface, including their floor cleaner, floor finisher, and hardwood floor luster. I use it on my own floors. Made right here in central Indiana for over 60 years by Holloway House, a family-owned company. Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners is available at retailers everywhere.
With traffic at 433, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison Stone coming into downtown southbound 65 at Meridian Penn, blocking the center lane and causing stop traffic back to MLK. On the south side, it is a crash eastbound of 465 before I-65. That's blocking the right lane. Looks like a several car fender bender as traffic is jammed up past 31 back to South Meridian Street. Back to South Meridian Street, 16-minute delay there. Eastbound 72 downtown, stop and go Harding to Meridian, Illinois. Crash north side 71st Michigan Road. Reported as somebody getting hit by a car. And a crash on the east side 21st at Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by B Window. A B Window is more than a pane of glass. It's specifically designed to bring more light, warmth, and inspiration into your home. And for a limited time with me, get 45% off with no payments or interest for 22 months. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear skies remain, low temperatures in the low 40s. Tuesday, another warm one, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The calendar says March, and that means it's time for brackets. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here.
I know.
And it is time for March Meltdown Madness, presented by Window Nation. Nige, briefly explain what's going on here.
We've just got a bunch of clips of celebrities and athletes and actors and musicians all caught on tape melting the F down in one way or another. And you have ranked them, you have seeded them, and we're just, we got March Madness right ahead of us here at the NCAA tournament, and we figured we'd do our own version. We've done COVID hypocrisy madness.
Yes.
And we've done
couple rounds of Biden madness.
Couple rounds of Joe Biden madness.
There were so many gaffes from Joe Biden, we had multiple tournaments, including an in-season tournament.
Right.
So let's recap what happened on Friday, okay? Friday, the number 15 seed took on the number 2 seed. We kind of thought this would be a blowout, but let's reset it anyway. The number 15 seed, this was a secretly recorded video where it appears to be a hammered drunk Johnny Depp came home, it's like around 9 in the morning, starts yelling at his girlfriend at the time, Amber Heard, and he's smashing wine glasses, smashing bottles of beverages.
Kicking cabinets.
Right. And
then he chugs a bottle of wine.
And at the end, he gives us, in like his ultimate Johnny Depp line, what does he say, Nige?
You want to see crazy? I'll give you if you're crazy.
What happened?
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you crazy.
Starts chugging the wine.
That couple, man, like the things we found out about them in that trial, everything from bed pooping to wine smashing. So that's the number 15 seed.
I really like how he never leaves. He's never fully left his Captain Jack Sparrow character.
Right.
Who talks like that? Oh, you want to say crazy? I'll show you crazy.
Like in my mind, he says that with the hat on, right?
The pirate hat.
That was taking on the number 2 seed in this tournament. This is a clip that I think can win it all. Some people feel like it should have been the overall number 1 seed. This is when Bill O'Reilly was the host of Inside Edition, and he wasn't real happy with what was written on the teleprompter.
Yes.
They were trying to record the closing of the show, and Bill O'Reilly didn't like the copy, as it's known as, and he said, in his very polite, unique way, I would prefer to do this live on the air.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. No. We'll do it live. F- it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. F***ing thing sucks.
It goes on longer than that.
We've condensed these clips a little bit.
Yes.
And no surprise, by a vote of 80% to 20%. Bill O'Reilly is moving on to the next round.
Okay.
So let's get this week cracking. Round 1, Game 5. This may be the best matchup in the first round. The number 7 seed, Christian Bale. Solid actor. Great actor.
Love him.
He was on a movie set where a guy that was in charge of the lighting accidentally got in his way, got into the shot, and Christian Bale didn't like it.
Am I going to walk around and rip your lights down in the middle of a scene? Then why the are you walking right through? Da-da-da-da, like this in the background. What the is it with you? Give me your answer. Oh, good for you. And how was it? Sake, man, you're amateur.
That's pretty strong.
It's very strong. And again, we've condensed these for time. It goes on like that for minutes.
This dude just gets berated for minutes.
Oh, da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, good for you.
Oh, yeah, that's that. That one's going to be tough to beat. Whoever we're going up against here.
The number 10 seed. This one you might not know, and it's my honor to bring this to the forefront. Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda. Now, he's got a lot of great rants.
I was going to say there's several to choose from.
Right. Most people associate the Dave Kingman rant with him. And as good as Kingman is, what I think of Kingman's performance, that's not what we're talking about here. This is the Kurt Bavacqua rant. So Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda was responding to allegations that he ordered one of his pitchers to intentionally throw at a Padres player named Kurt Bavacqua. I guess there was bad blood between the Dodgers and Padres. People asked Tommy, hey, did you tell your pitcher to throw at the Padres player, Kurt Bavacqua? Here's Tommy Lasorda's response.
I have never, ever, since I've managed, ever told a pitcher to throw at anybody, nor will I ever. And if I ever did, I certainly wouldn't make him throw at a 130 hitter like a Bavacqua who couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. And I guarantee you this, when I pitched and I was going to pitch against a team that had guys on it like Bavacqua, I sent a limousine to get the to make sure he was in the motherfucking lineup.
Strong. Real strong
And
by Tommy Lasorda.
Poor Bavacqua. It didn't have anything to do with this. And he's taking all sorts of shrapnel.
So good.
I understand that Rob Kendall is all for this being the number one overall.
He loves the Bavacqua rant from Tommy Lasorda because he starts out so mild-mannered. I have never ordered one of my pitchers to throw at anybody. And by the end, he's saying the phrase that Bull Durham taught us you can't say to an umpire, talking about sending a limo to get him, and it's MF this and that. So let me go to Allison. Allison, the amazing producer of the Hammer and Nigel show. You've heard Christian Bale. You've heard Tommy Lasorda. Where would your vote go?
I think Christian Bale is just so iconic. I mean, there's so many quotable moments.
Nige?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Allison and say Christian Bale. I mean, he's just out of control on the set.
Voting is now live. Just go to the Hammer and Nigel Twitter page, okay? We're going to have it pinned at the top, so that way you can find it right away. Which one of these meltdowns do you want to see advance in this tournament? It's either Christian Bale just depantsing the lighting guy or Tommy Lasorda depantsing Kurt Bavacqua. Voting is live. You've got 20 hours at Hammer and Nigel, and it's all presented by Window Nation right now. Get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy from Window Nation. Get all the information you need, windownation.com, or call 866-90-NATION. Nige, we got an update from the State of the Union address.
Oh, really?
Remember when Snickers was taking some shrapnel from Joe Biden?
He was talking about Snickers and snacks more than he was fentanyl.
Right. Well, Snickers has clapped back.
Really?
In a statement, quote, "We have not reduced the size of Snickers singles or share size in the United States. Like many industries, we continue to face high inflation and spikes in material costs. However, We work to absorb these costs wherever possible to provide affordable treats for the best value. Final prices are always at the discretion of the retailer, but we make every effort to minimize costs to provide a full range of delicious products.
I mean, Snickers could sue the president for what, libel if they wanted? I mean, there's the president lying to you again, right to your face on a national stage. You get charged the same amount, and you got about 10% fewer Snickers in it. I believe was the quote. Unbelievable. We're going to crack down on those corporations that engage in price gouging.
And I love, like, the head of, like, who owns Snickers? Like the Mars company. They're probably sitting back, watching the State of the Union.
All of a sudden.
Hey, what the hell?
A spit take. He spits out his cocktail.
I want our PR staff to have a statement against that doddering old goat tomorrow. Put it out tomorrow. We're not going to take this. Snickers had receipts here, and I'm here for it. Get those votes in right now at Hammer and Nigel Meltdown Madness, presented by Window Nation.
Congresswoman Sparks will be ready for your interview soon.
It seems pretty intense in there.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Maybe I'll take some time before the interview to Google Victoria Sparks and learn a little more about her. Whoa. Have you seen this article?
One aide calling the lawmakers' workplace behavior manic?
Victoria Sparks was #1 on Legistorm's list of worst bosses based on high turnover rates.
Says she, quote, avoided firing aides and instead bullied them until they left.
And the story is based on interviews with half a dozen former staffers.
Yikes. Sparks called staff morons and idiots.
Get this. Victoria Sparks says her working style is, quote, not for everyone.
Well, it's not for me. I think I'll pass on this interview.
I'm Chuck Goodrich. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Go with Chuck Goodrich Committee.
It's official. The Social Security Trust Fund is scheduled to run out of money in less than 10 years. This is dramatically changing the way many people are filing for their benefits. It's Terry Stacy. Learn how you could wring every nickel out of your benefits with the free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. I've known Bill Demery for years. He's helped me with planning for retirement, and trust me, he knows Social Security like the back of his hand. Most advisors charge hundreds of dollars for a customized analysis, but Bill doesn't charge you a dime. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis by calling 317-349-5212. That's 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212. Call Bill right now.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When life happens, Michelis happens to help you through it. That includes water, storms, fire, and the whole insurance mess. Working hand in hand with the claims adjuster, Michelis is your advocate, your voice, your local trusted advisor for cleaning up, building back, and moving forward when disaster strikes. Now that is an insurance policy. Make it Michelis. Call 844-FIX-INDY.
Rape, murder, and human trafficking. We've all read the stories of the evil crossing this border. I'm Mike Speedy, running for Congress in Indiana. So why am I at the U.S.-Mexican border? Truth is, Biden's failures put every town at risk. Drugs and criminal cartels are pouring in while politicians do nothing. I've witnessed the unused materials for Trump's wall and visited with law enforcement on the front line of this invasion. I am running for Congress because it's time that we have leaders who will join President Trump to finish this wall, send troops to stop this invasion, and secure our southern border once and for all.
Mike Speedy is an America First conservative leader.
Speedy has endorsed Donald Trump because he knows we must return President Trump to the White House to secure our border. And Mike Speedy is the pro-life, pro-Second Amendment champion we can count on to protect our values and keep us free.
I'm Mike Speedy. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Speedy for Congress.
See Absolute Comfort at the Flower and Patio Show, booth 382, to learn more about Mitsubishi Douglas Mini Splits. Absolute Comfort, your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Douglas Pro dealer.
For a limited time, B is offering 45% off with no payments and no interest for 20 months.
That's Faber's Bean Window. Trust me.
All right, so Matt Bear, you've heard the options, the head-to-head matchup for today in Meltdown Madness. Christian Bale against Tommy Lasorda. What say you?
I think it's a clean sweep. It's going to be Christian Bale for me all day. Way to punch down, Christian. Show that tech who's boss. The guy who makes a fraction of your money.
Now, just so you know, I got an email here, Hammer and Nigel at WIBC.com. This is from Malcolm. He writes, Bavacqua all the way.
He did have a pretty big 84 World Series. People forget about Kurt Bavacqua having a couple bombs in that 84 World Series.
All right, guys, Southside crash, eastbound 465 to 465. Right lane is closed, backed up to Harding. It's 26 minutes just for those few short miles. Southbound 65 stopped coming into downtown 29th to Meridian Penn. Stall blocking two right lanes. Eastbound 70 slow to downtown Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Crash north side 71st to Michigan Road. Crash north side Harcourt south of 86th Street. That's a crash with injury. Traffic sponsored by B Window. A B Window is more than a pane of glass. It's specifically designed to bring more light, warmth, and inspiration into your home. And for a limited time with B, get 45% off with no payments or interest for 20 months. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
It's super early, but Tommy Lasorda's got a pretty big lead right now over Christian Bale. So get those votes in at Hammer and Nigel. Right now, sunshine, 59 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
We need to come up with a list of the actors or actresses that have the worst case of Trump derangement syndrome. Somebody that would be at the top of that list is Robert De Niro.
Oh, yeah, that might be the number one seed.
You think so?
He's up there for sure.
I mean, who else? Rosie O'Donnell. Does she still count as a celebrity?
Anybody that's on The View, do they count as celebrities?
Kind of.
Cher, Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner is the one I was thinking of, but Robert De Niro, I mean, Trump is living rent-free in this old bastard's head. He said Donald Trump, this is on Bill Maher's show. Robert De Niro said Donald Trump will come looking for him and will cancel Bill Maher's show if he wins the election.
Nothing at all, nothing redeemable in him. And we have to, and whoever the people are who want to vote for him, and there look like intelligent people around there, somebody, for some reason, it can't be. It cannot be. If he wins the election, you won't be on the show anymore. He'll come looking for me. There'll be things that happen that none of us can imagine. That's what happens in that kind of a dictatorship, which is what he says. Let's believe him. Take him at his word.
Even the audience laughed at that notion.
They thought he was joking. He was serious.
Since when is Trump in the business of canceling TV shows? Any president for the United States? I mean, you talk about a dictatorship. The current president and his Department of Justice are trying to put their political opponent away in jail so he can't run. That's what I'd call a dictatorship. I mean, that was such a kind of just a rambling mess.
But that's what he believes, though.
But I know that. But what I'm getting at too is Robert De Niro can't sound intelligent. It can't be. It just can't be. He doesn't have anybody writing his words for him, which he is very used to.
Right.
And when nobody's writing your words for you, you sound like a moron. You moron?
And it just goes to show the ego of some of these celebrities. Because you've made good movies, you think one of the things the president's going to be focused on is silencing you. you haven't made a big hit in a long time. I mean, maybe The Irishman, the Netflix movie,
yeah.
But pump the brakes a little bit here, kid. I love this story, too. So some woke influencer on TikTok was trying to rattle off all the terrifying things that Trump will do if he wins, and accidentally made the most epic campaign ad ever for Donald Trump.
First, he promises that he will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in history. He will also ask for the death sentence for anyone convicted of human trafficking.
All right.
He will close the Department of Education and return all education standards to the states to decide.
Okay.
He will put prayer back into school, and he will criminalize any race-based advantage programs.
Good.
He will end the Affordable Care Act. He will propose a constitutional amendment that gives a term limit to Congress. He will deploy the Department of Justice to investigate the Biden crime family and any of his adversaries or political rivals. He will immediately pardon all of the January 6thers, and he will create...
And this goes on and on and on.
Yeah, thank you for the campaign commercial, you lunatic.
Right. I've had a couple people ask me to play this back this afternoon. It happened earlier today on the Kendall and Casey show. I made AI Casey. Now, this past week... we had AI Rob Kendall on Off the Rails. So I thought, to be fair, we should have AI Casey respond to Rob.
Hey, Rob, do all of us a favor and shut the hell up for 5 seconds. Seriously, just shut your damn mouth. Nobody cares about Brownsburg, and truth be told, I actually like some of these Republican candidates. So do everyone a favor and walk your goofy ass into oncoming traffic. Or, an even better idea, how about shutting the fuck up? Also, if you interrupt me one more time, I will take a baseball bat to your brand new hair. Now, with all of that being said, I have to admit, I've never been more turned on. Take me, Rob. Take me now, in the studio. Treat me like one of your old broad ripple floozies. Buy me a Long Island, look me in the eye, and these underpants are all yours. Let's stop playing around and finally make love. I've never wanted a man more than you in all of my life. Kevin, play some commercials and turn away for a few minutes. We're about to make animal noises. Gross. Animal noises.
AI Casey, ladies and gentlemen.
That's really well done.
Wow, that was good.
Boy, that sounded exactly like her.
It's kind of frightening, isn't it? Like the things you can do with technology now.
Was that a gross animal noises at the end?
Gross animal noises. AI Casey responding to Rob Kendall. Do not go anywhere, because coming up next, there are rumors of AI Nigel making another appearance. That is coming up next. We are just getting rolling. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, fellas, if you've been feeling tired and grumpy, lack of motivation and drive, weight gain, loss of muscle mass, it could all be signs of low testosterone levels. Now is the time at Low T Center to get your T levels checked. They make it easy to get it checked. It's a simple blood test. With an on-site lab, you'll get your results back in like 25 minutes. Low T Center, it's not your typical doctor's office. It's concierge medicine for men. Their physicians specialize in treating low T with customized treatment for each patient.
Most health insurance is accepted for treatment, and they have affordable and convenient treatment options, including physician-monitored self-inject treatments that ship directly to your home each week. And right now, at a Low T Center near you, it's only $25 to get your T level tested, and you get your results back in about 25 minutes. Set up your appointment today, lowtcenter.com. Book that appointment, lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey guys, it's Rob. Did you know Universal Windows Direct does a lot more than just windows? You can get a new home at the same address with vinyl siding from Universal Windows Direct. Their exclusive Unishield Supreme siding delivers the warm, quality appearance of wood without the costly, time-consuming maintenance and repairs. But wait, Universal Windows Direct does even more. Make a great first impression and increase your home's curb appeal with a new entry door from Universal Windows Direct. Or how about this? Clogged gutters will cause major damage to your home. Foundation problems, basement flooding, and more. With Universal Windows Direct, you'll never have to worry about cleaning your gutters again with their gutter protection system. Give your home a new glow. Call today at 317-659-7574 to schedule your free in-home estimate. And for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. And tell them Rob Kendall told you to call and you'll get $250 off your project. Windows, siding, doors, gutters, and more. Universal Windows Direct, 317-659-7574.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble.
Yeah?
Free alignment and a free oil change?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Michelin's up to $175 off?
Right.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. What do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Michelin's and save up to $175 more. See store for details.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. That's 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the Delphi murders trial will happen sooner rather than later. A man from Greensburg was arrested after picking a fight with Columbus police, and when it could start raining again. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. Sunny skies with temperatures in the mid-50s downtown. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
The security threat at the southern U.S. border. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
From an FBI perspective, we are seeing a wide array of very dangerous threats that emanate from the border.
The FBI director telling lawmakers his agency alone has seized enough fentanyl in the last 2 years to kill 270 million people. He says they're also tracking possible ISIS ties to human trafficking gangs. An annual hearing on worldwide threats, also focusing in part on China and TikTok. Christopher Wray telling Florida Senator Marco Rubio the app's parent company, ByteDance, is, for all intents and purposes, beholden to the Chinese Communist Party.
And if they said, we want you to put out videos that make Americans fight with each other or spread conspiracy theories and get them at each other's throat, ByteDance can't go to Chinese court and fight the Communist Party. They would have to do it.
That's my understanding.
Wray says influence operations are difficult to detect, and it's part of what makes national security concerns about TikTok so significant. At the same hearing, the CIA director warning that time's running out to help Ukraine, while the director of national intelligence says there's concern Russia will turn to globally destabilizing space and cyber weapons. A pledge from President Biden not to put Social Security and Medicare on the chopping block.
I'm never going to allow that to happen. I won't cut Social Security. I won't cut Medicare. Instead of cutting Medicare and give tax breaks to the wealthy, I will protect and strengthen Social Security and Medicare and make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
Speaking in New Hampshire, hours after unveiling a $7.3 trillion budget that includes paid family leave, universal pre-K, and a first-time homebuyer tax credit. The plan also includes a 25% minimum tax on billion-dollar incomes. It serves largely as a contrast of ideas with Republican lawmakers. The president's blueprint considered unlikely to advance in Congress. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Rescheduled. Clear skies with temperatures in the mid-50s downtown. No rain to worry about on your radar. Low temperatures to the lower 40s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 5:02. The Delphi murders case trial start date has been moved yet again, but this time it's earlier than expected. Donnie Burgess reports.
May 13th. That's the expected trial start date. The legal team for suspect Richard Allen put in a speedy trial request last week, and Special Judge Fran Gall approved it Monday. It's a tune change for the case because usually the trial start date has been pushed back over and over again. Richard Allen will have to make one more court appearance March 18th. Whatever happens at that hearing could possibly move the trial date again. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Jesse Sparks of Greensburg is sitting in jail now with 6 felonies, accused of pointing a gun at someone and fighting with Columbus police yesterday. Officers had to use a taser to get him out of his car, and they eventually found something else in the back seat.
What was also troubling was that Sparks' 2-year-old child was in the back
seat of the vehicle while all this was occurring.
Lieutenant Matt Harris with Columbus Police says meth was also in the car along with Sparks' gun. Governor Eric Holcomb signed the bill today that would hold back third graders if they fail the iRead exam 3 times. Republicans hope the bill will address a decline in reading skills. It was one of more than 60 that Holcomb put pen to paper on today. Malik Hill sentenced to 87 years behind bars. He was accused of shooting IMPD officer Thomas Mangan in the throat in February, a couple of years ago during a traffic stop in Fountain Square. More details have come out about a hit and run that occurred Saturday morning on Mass Ave. Sam Fritz reports.
The hit and run occurred at 2 a.m., but roughly 9 hours later, police received a vandalism report at the Courtyard Marriott just outside of the airport. It was Salvador Benales who called to report he thought someone had sideswiped his rental car the night before. Police would eventually learn that Benales had been out drinking in the area around the time of the incident, making him a suspect. After matching his rental car to the car involved in the hit and run, police arrested Benales just before he boarded his returning flight to Texas. It was announced on Monday that one of the victims, 27-year-old Brandon Breedlove, had died from his injuries. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Rain could return as early as tomorrow night.
There is a small chance of seeing a few showers and maybe a rumble thunder tomorrow night, but really the main time frame for precipitation looks to be Thursday into Thursday night.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. He says the heaviest rain will probably fall in southern Indiana. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
It's been chilly out there. Listen, Indiana winters can take a toll on your siding. It's crucial to check for cracks or breaks to avoid potential leaks and costly water damage. Good news, though, Moss Roofing has your back. From free inspections to a complete siding replacement, they've got budget-friendly plans to suit your needs. Just inquire about payment options. For all of your siding concerns, Moss Roofing is the contractor for you. Talk to Moss Roofing. Reach out to Moss Roofing today at Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com, or give them a call at 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665, or find them online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com. And don't forget to tell them that Tony Katz sent you. Your roofing needs, your siding needs, insulation, Moss Roofing has got you covered, Indianapolis. Talk to Moss Roofing today for your roofing, siding, or insulation needs. M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Pear.
All right, Harrison, south side crash clear. Eastbound 465 before 65 still stopped back to Harding Street, but the front of the line starting to move again. Eastbound 70 stop and go into downtown from Holt Road past Belmont. You get a little break until you get before West Street, and then you will be slow into the south split. Southbound 65 stop and go traffic to downtown 21st to Meridian Pad. East side northbound 465 slows Penn Pike to 71st. Eastbound 465 northeast side stop and go traffic from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Crashes on the northwest side, one Harcourt south of 86th Street, another one Michigan Road at 71st. Crash on the east side, Washington Street at Sherman Drive. Traffic sponsored by Mattress Firm. Spread the word. You can score bonus savings on Better Sleep during Mattress Firm's Friends and Family Sale. Hurry in to save up to $700 with your extra discount. Plus, get a free adjustable base on select beds. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear skies remain, low temperatures in the low 40s. Tuesday, another warm one, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
Hammer, there's this new poll out, this new Rasmussen, it's a Rasmussen poll that just really kind of shows the hypocrisy, demonstrates the sheer hypocrisy of the Democrats. Here's the poll. Majority of Democrats oppose certification of 2024 election if Donald Trump wins.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on 1 second here. I'm old enough to remember that would get you called an election denier by the Democrats.
I mean, isn't this what the Democrats were yelling at Trump about in 2020? You know, when Trump was trying to get Pence not to certify the election.
Stop the steal!
Isn't this, and then now they're turning around and saying if Trump wins, don't certify the election? Do I have this right?
57% of Democrat voters, according to this Rasmussen report, would oppose Congress certifying the 2024 election if Donald Trump wins. Now, the poll asked likely voters, quote, some Democrats in Congress have said that if Trump wins this year's election, they will vote against certifying the results because of Trump's role in the January 6th Capitol riots. Do you support or oppose Democrats refusing to certify the election results if Donald Trump wins? 57% said they would oppose. 57%.
I mean, it's believable. I guess it is believable. But they're just turning around. Again, anything they accuse Donald Trump of doing, they do. They're the ones that are doing it.
Right. And that's been the way it, has been for a while. Like, this shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. All of the things the political left has accused the right or Donald Trump of, they're doing it themselves. High inflation, wide open border, ridiculous costs of living. These are the things that they signed up for, and they're going to blame Donald Trump for. Major conflict, possibly involving the United States. Remember, every other weekend, some lunatic was saying, Donald Trump's going to get us into World War III.
Yeah.
World War III. We heard that for weeks, and then weeks became months. Months became years. And now look what's happening. The big scary orange man's gone, and you got this old doddering buffoon in the White House that, we've got to make a peace deal. Okay, what's your plan? I don't know. Thanks.
You're welcome.
We haven't done one of these in a couple weeks, Nige. How about an update on America's fight against COVID-19?
COVID-19, oh, I swear that I mean at this moment.
There are 3 vaccines. 3 or 4, whatever.
China piss off, now you've made the world cough. We're
Hammer,
all nervous because of
COVID-19. So the headline reads, long COVID fighters feel sucker punched by the new CDC guidance.
So they're sick? Is that what you're telling me? They're physically ill, or their feelings are hurt?
There's something that I really don't think is a thing called long COVID, where you suffer for months and months and months and months on end for the effects of COVID.
Is that like Bernie Sanders wearing a mask to the State of the Union? Is that what we're talking about?
Funny? Like when he was sitting there talking to crazy Maisie Hirono, whatever she is, from Hawaii, and just laughing it up. Had the mask around the chin, and then once the State of the Union address started, he put the mask on. So anyway, sorry, I digress. Advocates for people who suffer or have died from COVID-19 in Massachusetts and around the country say they're alarmed by the new federal health recommendations, which we've talked about on this show. This is not new. This is not the CDC. A few weeks ago, recently announced people no longer need to isolate for 5 days and just return to regular activities, even with mild improving symptoms and just 1 day after a fever.
So no more 2 weeks, no more contact tracing, no more swabs up the anus.
No. I didn't mention anything about swabs up the anus. But isn't it funny that the CDC, you're right, that's quite a timeline there. It's 2 weeks, and then everybody else that was around you for 2 weeks had to isolate, and then it was 5 days. And now the CDC is basically saying, look, you know what, if you got a temperature of 101, yeah, just come on in. That's fine. It's not that bad.
Shake it off. Rub some dirt on it.
So basically these long COVID, or these COVIDians, are saying the CDC is wrong in this, which is sort of funny because I thought like people that complained about the CDC, like we didn't follow the guidelines to a T, we were science deniers.
Correct.
Do you remember that part?
Oh, I do. Around the same time, people were calling people election deniers.
Yeah, right. A lot of denier talk going on back then. So people are unhappy with the CDC that they've drastically changed the guidelines for COVID. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, come on into work if If you're 102, just stay home. But if you get like 101 temperature and you feel okay, just come to work. You'll be fine.
So to recap these last two stories here, in 2020, you had a group of people that had questions about the election that were shamed and called election deniers. And now the people on the other end say, well, we want to be election deniers too. And then in 2020, you had folks that had questions about, really, is this necessary from the CDC? They were called science deniers.
Yes.
And now the folks on the other end are saying the same thing. We've come full circle in less than 4 years. Producer Allison, we got a little feud going on.
Right.
So this was on a podcast, the PBD podcast. They had a bunch of panelists, and two of them were Candace Owens and Chris Cuomo.
Fredo?
Old Fredo.
Yeah, former CNN host.
Candace Owens kind of going after Fredo because he got upset that Candace Owens said Vladimir Putin, whether you like him or not, is actually intelligent.
You also have to recognize that Tucker just went over and interviewed Vladimir Putin. And this is significant because then you saw what it looks like when somebody not only has the mental faculty, I mean, irrespective of what you thought about the interview, you cannot, you are forced to acknowledge that he's an incredibly smart person. I mean, he started in the 8th century.
I think that it is not good that you're using Vladimir Putin as some type of positive attribute metaphor for a leader.
That's not what I did at all.
Well,
you're saying that
you're saying, well, he's smart.
He's smart. So why would you not acknowledge someone smart? What does that do? Does that make me a Putin supporter? Because you're clearly smart.
No,
if you can sit down and unpack Russian history from the 8th century, what do you mean? What the point? The point is to say that the entire world can now see this contrast of a man who can't remember what happened 2 hours ago, who still thinks that his son is alive, sadly, and often brings up his son as if he's still alive.
True.
So this is a little spirited panel debate here between Fredo and Candace Owens. I think I need to hear a little more.
What is not true?
Look.
What is not true, Chris? Actually say what is not true.
You're really going to say that Joe Biden believes that his son Beau is alive?
He has done that on camera. He has said
he has misspoken as an old man that is talking about something that hurts him.
Listen to you. No, because Chris.
Listen, again.
There's no reason to do this. You're doing so great. I'm not going to let you do this to yourself. Like, what? No, seriously. There's no reason to do it. Obviously, Vladimir Putin is intelligent. There's no reason, doesn't make you anything to acknowledge the fact that any person that can for an hour straight unpack the history of their country starting from the 8th century has their mental faculties about them.
Okay.
And this goes on, for 5-10 minutes, these two kind of going back and forth here. Now, in regards to Fredo, Nigel, I know it's a big night for you.
Yes.
Are you excited for the big interview? Chris Cuomo, I think he's on News Nation now.
Yes.
Sitting down with Tucker Carlson.
So this is Tucker Carlson's first live TV appearance. I don't know if it's live, but his first cable news appearance since he got fired from Fox. And he's going on with Chris Cuomo. He used to just demolish Cuomo back in the day on his show. It's going to be interesting.
I think that's where the name Fredo kind of came from originally. Like Tucker called him Fredo, I think, at one point, and then would always make fun of him lifting weights and, doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't going to drink tonight, but man, this is tailgate worthy.
Here's a little preview of tonight.
January 6th. I know people will say it was an insurrection. Okay, fine. He wasn't charged with that. And there's a reason he wasn't charged with that. And it's not a technicality. And your approach and the approach of other people that, hey, this was just, these guys were in the wrong place, the wrong way, but that's all it was. I don't agree with that. I think it was a riot. And I think they were way over the line, and I think that they were motivated to go way over the line, in part by the President of the United States.
Obviously, were a riot, but let me ask you just a couple questions. One is, why can't we know how many federal agents were in the crowd and what they were doing there?
I'm fine with knowing. I love transparency. It is the key to understanding.
It's the opposite of what we have, and there are thousands of hours of tape, and the release of which will not jeopardize security in the Capitol.
You cherry-picked that tape, by the way.
I aired what they sent me.
You cherry-picked it, though.
So that's a little preview. Clearly, it's a recorded conversation they're going to play back tonight.
And I wonder how favorable the editing process will be to make Cuomo look good.
So, Nigel, I know how excited you get when Tucker does anything.
Yeah, but this is a big one. This
Right.
is a battle. And I hope it's not just January 6th stuff the whole time. I really do.
I wasn't sure if you would be able to collect yourself to talk about this.
Okay.
So what I've done is I've brought in AI Nigel to share his thoughts on this interview that's going to happen tonight.
The tailgate is on. I seriously can't f***ing wait for this interview tonight. I'm going to pour myself a big glass of scotch, put some wings in the smoker, take my pants off, and watch every bit of this thing tonight. Don't text me. Don't call me. When Tucker is on, you can f*** off.
AI Nigel with his thoughts on the big Cuomo Tucker Carlson interview tonight.
Again, Carlson's first national TV appearance since he left Fox. This is a big one.
Matt Bear. All right, look at us outbound 65 slow right now, West Street to Meridian Penn. It's a crash, Center Street at Stafford and Plainfield. Again, that's Plainfield. Looking at eastbound 465 south side crash clear, but we are still stopping to go. White River over to US 31. 2 spots of slow traffic coming into downtown on eastbound 70. We are stop and go Holt Road to Belmont, and again before West Street to Meridian, Illinois. Eastbound 70 out of downtown slows from the north split out to Emerson Avenue. It's a crash hardcore south of West 86th Street. Traffic sponsored by U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Serve those who served. Apply now for a rewarding career in Marion County and make a difference in rural veteran health care. Visit vacareers.va.gov. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Nige.
Yeah.
Minshew Mania in Indy has come to an end.
Oh, no. What are you talking about?
Gardner Minshew has signed a 2-year deal with the Raiders where he's told he'll have a chance to compete for a starting gig out there. So, R.I.P. Minshew Mania running wild in Indianapolis. Right now, it's 59 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Are you okay with this? Next.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration. How is TMJ treated at your office?
There are so many different types of approaches to everything. One of the most important ones is actually some jaw adjusting. The technique that I actually use, I invented because I had tried several different types of techniques out there and actually found my own system. One of the things that I found on the jaw is that it needs to be extremely light adjustment. It's a very gentle type of thing. As a matter of fact, people just say it's sort of like a puff of air. Did you actually do anything except all of a sudden all their pain's gone? They go, well, that was easy. And I said, well, that was 30 years of development that we've actually perfected that. I make it look easy, but it's not something that's easy. I've trained about 9 chiropractors, trained them how to do that adjustment, and really found a huge improvement in their results with that.
The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather, Sundays at 8 p.m. or anytime at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Business. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these companies is a partner helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide all choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business, the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
See why Comcast Business powers more small businesses than anyone else. Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add 1 unlimited mobile line. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call to switch today. Ends 5/5/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 100 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swanco 317-407-1868 or swancollc.com.
Hey, Wings Etc. fans, guess what? March 13th is Wing Scooter Madness Day. We're rolling back prices on award-winning wings and big ice cold schooners to just 59 cents for wings and $5.25 for domestic schooners. Dine in only. Mark your calendars for this Wednesday, March 13th, and get great deals on wings and domestic schooners when you dine in on Wing Scooter Madness Day. This March 13th, one day only, and only at your local Wings Etc. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub with 15 Central Indiana locations. Find us online at wingsetc.com.
Welcome to Pike's Smokes Megastore's Monday Madness. You'll always find something to like at Pike's Smokes Megastore. To celebrate Monday Madness, spend $50 or more and snatch 15% off your entire purchase. Looking for vapes, cigars, or hemp products? Pike's Smokes Megastore has everything you want and more than you can imagine. Don't miss out on military, first responder, and senior discounts, plus an early bird special. Head to 5028 East 62nd Street, Indianapolis, or visit pikesmokesmegastore.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Reach your fitness goals in 2024 with the 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Scary stuff. A United flight traveling from San Francisco to Japan had to make an emergency landing in L.A. after an entire wheel fell off during takeoff. Here is a retired United Airlines captain talking about a possible cause and travelers commenting on plane safety.
They usually put the whole wheel assembly on an airplane when they change the tires. And it's possible that they may not have secured the wheel properly.
I'm just wondering if the airplanes are held together with duct tape right now.
I used to be scared when I was younger, but now as I get older, I'm like, you can't escape fate.
If something happens, it happens.
Hammer, lots of stuff happening with airplanes lately. Are you okay with this?
This may be a hot take, so make sure everybody is sitting down. If you have coffee, please put it down. I don't want anybody getting burned. I'm not okay with things falling off my plane. Like, I'm already a bit of a nervous flyer.
Sure.
Like, when we go wheels up, I get a little palm sweaty. There's a little fear of heights inside your boy here. And then when we hit turbulence,
oh boy,
a little pee may come out. I'm not going to lie. So I'm certainly not okay with parts of the plane falling off. Now, if this is the story that I think it is, I believe when the wheel fell down, it landed on like a car.
Yeah, nobody's hurt, but yeah, the wheel kind of like what happened at the Indy 500 last year.
Right. Thank goodness. It could have been way worse. But to answer your question, no, not okay with things falling off of my plane.
So the fire department boss in New York City, right? FDNY. She's been charged with hunting down the staffers who booed New York Attorney General Letitia James and cheered for Trump at this promotion ceremony. Let's revisit this real quick.
Thank you very much, Chief. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Attorney General Letitia James.
Oh, come on, we're in a house of God. First, simmer down. Thank you for getting it out of your system. First, I want to recognize...
And, By the way, it's the commissioner, Laura Kavanaugh, who's never served as an actual firefighter. She's the one leading this quote-unquote investigation. Are you okay with this?
Yes, because what if the investigation was to give all those people promotions? What if they found who booed the bejesus out of Letitia James and said, you know what? Good for you. That's the kind of moxie we're looking for here at the FDNY. If that's the case, then I'm okay with it. But if there's any sort of discipline going the other direction,
I think that's what this is.
Absolutely not. And I'm wondering how seriously they're going to take this investigation. Is this going to be something that's legit, or is this going to be the special fact-finding commission that Stan Gable and Betty Childs had in Revenge of the Nerds when they're trying to find out who damaged the Tri-Lamb's house? I'm hoping it's that type of half-assed investigation, because nobody needs to be penalized here for booing a horrible woman. All right, coming up next, we've got Daisy from the Chicks on the Right program. We're going to get her thoughts on a number of things. That's coming up right after we check the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He tried to fight a few cops. Sunny at 58 on the Circle. Nothing at your radar. Low of 42 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. Columbus police had their hands full yesterday morning. Donnie Burgess reports it started with a call to 911.
The caller said Jesse Sparks had pointed a gun at them before he took off in his red van. The cops quickly tracked him down, but Sparks refused to get out of the car. Police say he then reached down for something inside of the car.
The officers had to take swift action because, like I said, it was reported that Sparks was armed. The officers utilized a taser and eventually pulled Sparks out of the vehicle.
Columbus Police Lieutenant Matt Harris. Sparks' 2-year-old child was in the back seat the entire time, along with several packages of meth found by police. Jesse Sparks faces 6 felony charges. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
They asked for a speedy trial, and they're going to get one. The attorneys for Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen filed a request earlier this month for the trial to start within 70 days. Special Judge Fran Gall issued an order today moving that trial up to May 13th rather than it starting in October. While campaigning in a New Hampshire town west of Manchester, President Biden claims Donald Trump wants to cut Social Security and Medicare.
I'm never going to allow that to happen. I won't cut Social Security. I won't cut Medicare. Instead of cutting Medicare and give tax breaks to the wealthy, I will protect and strengthen Social Security and Medicare and make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
Biden referring to an interview the former president has recently done with CNBC. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is praising his colleagues in Congress for preventing a partial government shutdown thanks to a funding package that was passed.
I'm especially pleased that it will advance priorities near and dear to the hearts of my fellow Kentuckians, from rural transportation to military readiness, to stopping the flow of illegal drugs.
The Congress now has another deadline to worry about. Another funding bill needs passed by March 22nd. Temperatures could reach the 70s this week, but don't take the warm weather for granted.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like once we get into early next week, things are going to get cold again. We're looking at the potential for sub-freezing temperatures. Looks like Monday night and maybe even Tuesday night of next week.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service reminding you that it's still winter. He says expect a few days of rain this week before temperatures drop. And with traffic at 5:31, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison coming into downtown. It is a stalled semi on eastbound 70 Harding Street. Backs us up to Holt. Also on the east side, northbound 465, stop and go traffic, Penn Pike after East 56th Street. North side, northbound 465, now stop and go, 86th Street to 865. Crash on the northwest side, Harcourt, south of West 86th Street. Somebody's hurt in that crash. Also, Vermont Street downtown shut down between Capitol and Illinois because of a crash, and 135 northbound lanes only on the south side shut down from Banta up to Edgewood because of a crash. Traffic sponsored by B Window. A B Window is more than a pane of glass. It's specifically designed to bring more light, warmth, and inspiration into your home. And for a limited time with B, get 45% off and no payments or interest for 20 months. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear skies remain, low temperatures in the low 40s. Tuesday, another warm one, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
the Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
She is one half of the Chicks on the Right program and WIBC alumni. Daisy joining us. And Daisy, how much of the Oscars did you watch last night?
I watched approximately 0.0%. And then this morning I looked at all the dresses with Mock. We went on like a complete slam fest of the dresses. Listen, I know you guys don't care about the dresses. I know you're dudes and you don't give a crap. In Hollywood has gotten progressively awful. We peaked in the late 90s and I will die on that hill.
And I like how you had to say you approximately watched 0.0 seconds.
0.0.
That's an approximation.
Yeah, we're force-fed, like on Page Six and on Daily Mail, we're force-fed a nice like menu of the Oscars. And so, you got to see a little bit of it. You got to see like Jimmy Kimmel being awful and that Trump lives rent-free in his head.
Yeah, I know he had some sort of slam at Trump, but I think what I read was the event was mainly political or Trump-free, except all the stars were wearing little red pens on their lapels that signified we want a ceasefire in Gaza.
Yeah.
That's about all I saw.
I mean, they're all liberal. I think they got the memo. Somebody told them, listen, people don't want to see a bunch of political rants, because in the years past, their ratings have gone down. And so they're like, so try to take it easy on the political rants. At least I'm assuming that's what happened. But they did have those stupid pins, like was like Billie Eilish and all those people were like, we want a ceasefire. Yeah.
And the thing that kills me is these people think they're so important. Like in their minds, they think, Bibi Netanyahu is sitting back. He turns on the Oscars. He sees Billie Eilish with a red pen and thinks, you know what? Maybe they're right.
Yeah. And additionally, they think they're so important. But these are the people who pretend to be other people. They pretend to be people like us, like normal people. That's what they're doing. And they're making an ungodly, just an obscene amount of money doing it. Meanwhile, we're the people who live in the real world and we know what actually goes on. And it's like they get up on podiums and they preach to all of us real people about what they think is going on in the real world. And it's like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about.
And that's why that Ricky Gervais monologue at the Golden Globes a couple of years ago was so great. And, the people, not the celebrities, but the people loved it because he said all the things that we think.
And he'll never, ever host again.
Never.
Right. Ever. Now, have you seen the last thing on the Academy Awards? Have you seen, like Oppenheimer walked away with everything? Christopher Nolan, the Best Picture, Best Director, blah, blah, blah. Have you seen it?
I haven't. I know that's terrible.
No, I haven't seen it either. I'm dying to.
Did you guys see it? Did you love it?
No,
I'm starring in the sequel called Oppenheimer, actually. Very low-budget film, Daisy.
I love it. I'll go see that one. I bet it has a lot of naked people in it.
Very tasteful nudity in Oppenheimer, that's for sure.
Oppen Pooper.
Oh yeah, so it's gonna be aired on Skinamax.
We're bringing it back. We're gonna make America great again, and we're bringing Skinamax back. Hey, last week was the State of the Union address, and it's funny how just 24 to 36 hours is so different. So Joe Biden gets propped up there. They jab him full of go-go juice, and he's mad, and he's yelling, and he's energetic for about an hour and a half before he starts to wear down. The next night in Philadelphia, he's slurring again. He's talking about the July 6th insurrection. He says he's running for Congress. I mean, this was all in a 24-hour period.
Yeah, that shake your rake fest at America with it was all get off my lawn for like an hour, and then at the end it's like, but I'm everybody's president. Okay, who's buying that garbage? I mean, the first 10 minutes was about Ukraine, basically, and if that doesn't tell you everything you want to know about this president and his priorities, I can't help you. It was a state of every other union but our union address.
Yes.
And then he got Laken Riley's name wrong, and he's apologizing for calling her murderer an illegal, but he hasn't apologized to her family for their daughter being murdered on his watch. I mean, it's just unforgivable.
That has to be a campaign commercial for Donald Trump, right? Joe Biden going out and apologizing for calling the murderer something that he did not mean to say, but not doing anything to the victim's family. That needs to be a campaign commercial.
All of them are doing it. I mean, every single Democrat is like just clutching their pearls over the fact that he said the word illegal. And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like we played on our show this morning a video of Chuck Schumer, like years ago. I can't remember the year, but it was just not even, it was like a handful of years ago, talking about how we shouldn't call them undocumented. We should absolutely call them illegals. And so they have switched their messaging on this. They've changed their tune on this just so quickly because we all know why. It's because these people want voters, that they are so desperate because their policy sucks so hard that they're grasping. And now they're like, okay, well, we got to change semantics, you guys, and go. And this is what they're doing. And it's so obvious to anybody with half a brain that I'm looking at this and I'm like, how disgusting are these people? And not only that, but they're picking and choosing what laws are allowed to be broken. So do I get to just not pay my taxes? Because that would be great if I didn't have to do that.
Daisy joining us from the Chicks on the Right program. New leadership at the RNC. Donald Trump got his wish. He got his guy from North Carolina to be the main points guy, the chair, and Laura Trump to kind of be the co-chair. Where are we at with this?
Well, I mean, I can tell you where I'm at. I always wanted it to be Scott Pressler, but nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to me or Mock.
He's great at fundraising. Like, that would have been a fundraising machine.
Right. I mean, the RNC has never paid attention to regular folks like us. And now it's this, Michael Whatley, who, I mean, he was like a senior official in the George W. administration. He was like chief of staff to Elizabeth Dole and senior advisor to Bush Cheney. And like, he's about as establishment-y as you can get. And then there's Laura, who's his daughter-in-law, listen, she seems lovely. I honestly think she should be doing fitness videos. But again, Scott Pressler, he's the one who's been out there getting crap done when it comes to increasing like voter registration and absentee voting and early voter stuff like that matter. I mean, nobody seems to care about his efforts and like the results of his efforts. He's trained conservatives how to run for office. He knows how to elect like the local and the state people, which I know. Listen, getting Donald Trump into office is super important. I get that. But we also have to focus on local and state politics, too, or else we're screwed.
Right. I just have questions about whether or not the RNC, who had this great opportunity for a factory reset here and cleaning house, did the right thing here. Because the biggest needs, at least it seems like to me, are getting on board with mail-in balloting and ballot harvesting in the places where it's legal. You might not like it, but you got to fight fire with fire, and also fundraising, because as bad as Joe Biden and the Democrats are right now, they are handing the Republicans their ass in fundraising.
Yeah. They're hammering us. I mean, they have way more money than us. And why is it? And at this time, with as bad as everything is, you think that we would be making, or at least fundraising and raising considerably more money than they are, and we're not. So that is a testament to our party. And when I say testament, it's like we're just not good at that. We're not good at PR. We're not good at marketing. We've always been terrible. We've been talking about that for 15 years. We suck at that. And so this guy, that Scott Pressler guy, came along. He's young. He's vivacious. I mean, he knew how to do it. And they're like, nah, we're just going to ignore him. I mean, there again, it's just like another fail. I just get so disappointed in the RNC. They just disappoint me time and time again.
Did you guys talk on your show this morning? We're talking with Daisy with Chicks on the Right. Did you guys talk about, we like to call her Nancy In-Your-Face Mace?
Oh, my gosh.
The representative out of South Carolina.
We talked about her and how she was on George Stephanopoulos' show. And she handled that so well.
She completely depantsed him.
Clip.
Take us through that real quick.
I'm sorry?
Take us through that real quick.
Well, he basically called her out because he was like, and he shamed her, and she called him out for shaming her because he was like, how can you vote for Trump when you're a rape victim? And she was like, how dare you shame me? I'm paraphrasing, of course, but she's like, how dare you shame me, you little weasel? And this is a guy who defended Clinton. This is a guy who worked for Bill Clinton, and he has the. I mean, she didn't say that, but I'm saying it. I mean, he has the audacity to come at her. Are you kidding me? So, I mean, she put him in his place. He's such a little manlet.
Oh, he's one of the great butt sniffers of all time.
And she did such a tremendous job doing that. So bravo to her.
Yeah, one of the great weasels, great butt sniffers of all time is George Snuffleupagus. I can't stand that guy. It makes me throw up. Last thing here before we let you go, Daisy. There's chatter that Joe Biden might not debate Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump wanted no part of the debates in the primary, but we're talking about the general election here. What do you think?
Yep. They all need a debate, all of them. Like even that, the jacked up kangaroo RFK. I want to see all of them.
The jacked up kangaroo.
That's what I call him. He looks like a jacked up kangaroo. Does he not look like a jacked up kangaroo?
He does kind of look kangaroo-ish.
Right.
Yeah, he's kind of kangaroo-ish. You won't unsee it. Now you cannot unsee it, right? But all of them need to be on a stage together talking about the issues. Listen, I railed on Trump during the primary stuff because I'm like, he needs to be debating, and he didn't. But during the general, they all need to do it. Biden included, and they're going to have to hop Biden up on so many amphetamines to get him through it. But I want to see like 2.5, 3-hour debates with him on a stage with both of those guys, and I am ready for it. I will get my popcorn. I'm so ready for this.
There's no way Grandpa Biden's making a 2 to 3 hour debate. Maybe an hour and a half, but the go-go juice is going to wear out of old Grandpa Joe pretty damn quick, and you know that as well as I do.
Right. He's going to try to find excuses to get out of it, and it's going to make him look even weaker than he already looks.
What's coming up at Chicks on the Right?
Oh, my gosh. We have all sorts of stuff going on this week. But if you guys haven't checked it out, we talked to Glenn Beck last week. That came out. And there's never a dull moment. Lots of stuff. chicksontheright.com/links. Check us out.
Daisy from Chicks on the Right, you're the best. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk soon, guys. Bye.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Congresswoman Sparks will be ready for your interview soon.
It seems pretty intense in there.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Maybe I'll take some time before the interview to Google Victoria Sparks and learn a little more about her. Whoa. Have you seen this article?
One aide calling the lawmakers' workplace behavior manic?
Victoria Sparks was #1 on Legistorm's list of worst bosses based on high turnover rates.
Says she, quote, avoided firing aides and instead bullied them until they left.
And the story is based on interviews with 6 former staffers.
Yikes. Sparks called staff morons and idiots.
Get this. Victoria Sparks says her working style is, quote, not for everyone.
Well, it's not for me. I think I'll pass on this interview.
I'm Chuck Goodrich. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Go With Chuck Goodrich Committee.
Now is the perfect time for you to call the Bath Authority to get your project you've been putting off done this spring. Because the Bath Authority has an unbelievable deal going on. Call today at 317-532-5711. 317-532-5711. Schedule your free in-home estimate and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. That's right. All you got to do is call today at 317-532-5711. Schedule a free in-home estimate with the Bath Authority and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath plus 36 months of interest-free financing. Walk-in tubs, replacement showers, tub-to-shower conversions, and more. The Bath Authority does it all. 317-532-5711 for $1,000 off a new shower or bath plus 36 months of interest-free financing. TheBathAuthority.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
The most common form of treatment for the arthritic joints is normally cortisone injections and gel shots and over-the-counter medications. And most patients have tried all of that and are still in pain.
Every day, Dr. Aaron Wolkoff, a QC Kinetics medical director, meets patients who have exhausted every method to get relief. They've been told surgery is their only option.
They want to stay away from that path, and they come to us almost as the last hope. So we're using our own body's properties to help manage pain, to help slow arthritis down, keep the patients active with no downtime, and getting back to what they enjoy doing. I mean, I love what I do.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments from our board-certified providers help heal and restore aching joints. No surgery, harmful drugs, or downtime. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. In Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel, 317-559-PAIN.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. C&J is offering one of their great discount programs, and it's one you've got to take advantage of to upgrade your home's water system. Invest in one item, it's $250 off. 2 items, $500 off. And if you invest in 3 items, you'll get $750 off. They're also offering $25 off a bacteria sampling, something you should be doing every year. Act now and make your water system goals for 2024 a reality with C&J. They're local and they're affordable. 317-733-SOFT or cnjwater.com.
Check the Wendy's app for crazy burger deals. Limited time offer at participating U.S. Wendy's. Redeem in Wendy's app. Account registration required. See offer in Wendy's app for details.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer 135, State Road 135. South 4 is closed. Northbound lanes of Banter Road, please avoid for the moment. Eastbound 465 slowed again because of a stall before 65. It's blocking the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to 31 South Meridian. Looking at the east side, northbound 465 slows before East 56th Street up to 75th. And a stall coming into downtown eastbound 70 Harding. It's on the right shoulder, a stalled semi. Traffic sponsored by B Window. A B Window is more than a pane of glass. It's specifically designed to bring more light, warmth, and inspiration into your home. And for a limited time with B, get 45% off with no payments or interest for 20 months. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
59 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. An entire hour of the Hammer and Nigel Show coming up after 6 o'clock. Audio of quote-unquote journalist George Stephanopoulos from ABC being a complete D-bag. If you haven't heard about this story, it's outrageous. We'll get to that all after 6 o'clock. But Hammer, if you're needing a reason to drink tonight, and I know that you always do.
I need one.
Johnny Knoxville is 53 years old, of Jackass fame.
I love Johnny Knoxville. Like, I admit I've got a pretty basic sense of humor, but these Jackass guys could come out with a movie every single year, and I'd be like, take my money.
I still haven't seen the last one that they put out.
Oh, you need to. Jackass Forever, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, you said there's a lot of crank in it.
Steve-O does a lot of stuff with the genitals, yes, but...
Okay, well, I'm not sure I'm up for that.
It's belly laugh out loud. It's cringy. It's laugh out loud.
Okay.
Honestly, I thought Johnny Knoxville would be a little bit older. He's only 53. But here to pay tribute, this is one of my favorite scenes of all time. I think it's from the first season of Jackass. It's very simple.
Yes.
Johnny Knoxville just puts on a cup and has people kick him repeatedly in the junk.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is the cup test.
I can imagine even with a cup on, like a jock strap and a cup, that would hurt if done repeatedly, if kicked in the junk repeatedly, even if you did have a cup.
And then like 20 years later, because that's how long Jackass was around, in one of the movies, they have the big heavyweight UFC champion do the same thing, but now he's punching you in the junk. And they measure the strength of this guy's punch, and they said it's the equivalent of getting hit by a car.
Oh, dear Lord. Happy birthday to Johnny Knoxville, 53 years old today. We will return. It is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Business. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these companies is a partner helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide all choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business, the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
See why Comcast Business powers more small businesses than anyone else. Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add one unlimited mobile line. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call to switch today. Ends 5/5/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 100 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Discovery, innovation, progress. It all starts right here at IU Indianapolis. We're making cutting-edge discoveries in science, technology, and healthcare. We're investing in Indiana's future with degrees that make a difference. We're partnering with local businesses to drive our city forward. And we're just getting started. See where we're going at indianapolis.iu.edu/start.
The grand opening celebration is on at your new local running store. Get in on the fun and savings March 14th through the 16th. Early bird gift card giveaways for the first 100 customers through our doors each day. Get hot buys and discounts in every department. Food and housewares, lawn and garden, clothing and footwear, sporting goods, tools, pet and farm. Plus, Runnings will be giving away thousands of dollars in prizes. So bring the family to your local running store for the grand opening celebration. Go to runnings.com to find the store in your community. Runnings, your home, farm, and outdoor store.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and